Mike, I've been getting into Dungeons and Dragons, man.
About damn time.
Yeah.
Welcome to the point, sir.
we're running a Dungeons and Dragons. You know what I bought? I bought the little Dungeons and Dragon bullets, dude. The little dice and shit.
Oh, did you get the actual revolver?
No, that shit was like $40, dude. That fucking went for the $19 one. My cheap ass.
Well, let you know right now. If you get it, it's worth it. It's really cool.
Damn, dude. Damn.
I actually just got a new dice tower for Christmas. My mother-in-law got me a new dice tower.
It's fun, man. It's fun. I've been having a good time with it. Having a real good time.
Yeah, actually, I'll be writing a campaign for a company that does D&D also. So I'll talk about that later.
That's gonna be dope. That's gonna be real dope. Well, let's get it, boys. Let's get it. Let's jump in. Lock in, baby. Lock in. What is up? Welcome back to another Sunday Night with the Average Boys podcast. It's your boy Crispy, and you are not just staring at my solo ugly face today. You'll see that I got my boy Brian D, and we got the gorgeous Michael Betancourt in-house on the seat. Boys, I've missed you guys. How's been life? Brian, let's go with Brian, because Mike, you got a whole journey ahead of you.
I was gonna say, let me get mine out the way, dude. I've just been okay, been under the weather. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I'm still kind of sick. I got a migraine as we speak right now, so I'm gonna try to jump in and help in as we can, or as I can. But everything is good. I can't complain. Everything's great. I'm just gonna say that I'm happy that I get a chance to share this space. Not only you, Chris, because you know we talk all the time, but the special guest, which is not so special because he's no longer a guest.
He's a boy too, man. He's an average boy. He's an average man. He's an average man, not the boy.
We got the boy Michael Betancourt here today, and I just wanted to give the floor to him. I wanted to know how you have been, Mike.
I am alive and grateful to be here. Yeah, it has been a long road to survive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the best way to start off with this is that I almost died and made it out alive because of a Avengers level team of doctors and the absolute stubborn level that is.
You're not just like being like joking, like you're
not being facetious. Yeah, he's being honest.
100% serious. Yeah. So about a year ago, I woke up in the middle of the night. You know, I'm 40 years old. Well, 41 now. Had to go to the bathroom, so I stood up and my knees buckled. I've always had bad knees. They don't work. I played football, was in marching band. You know, you take damage, they give out.
And you're a big guy too. Like you're tall and you're a good size, dude.
6 foot, and at the time I was 270 pounds. So I'm a tall, big guy.
Yeah.
So my knees buckled. I tried to get my feet underneath me. I ended up swinging them real hard and hyper stubbed my toe into the wall. I slammed my foot.
Oh, fuck, dude.
So it damaged it real bad, and I ended up getting a blood blister that exploded and got infected. So then I started walking heavier on my right foot because I ended up in the hospital, and they told me just to go home and treat it myself, just go see what happens. So we did that, and I started walking heavier on my right foot, and I developed a blister over there, and then that thing burst and got infected. And I remember waking up one morning, I think it was like 6 a.m., and I started vomiting really bad. There was blood in places that shouldn't have had blood. So I told my wife, like, you know what? I was supposed to go to the doctor today, but I think I'm just gonna stay home. And I did the Mexican thing, the Latino thing. I'll sleep it off. I'll go to bed. I'll have some Sprite, and I'll be okay.
The huevo, dude.
Yeah.
You're gonna do the huevo. Sana.
100%. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna sleep it off. And she's like, no, go to the doctor just in case and see what he says. So I went to my podiatrist, my foot doctor, right?
Okay.
And I get there and I had the shakes. I can't make it into the building because I'm vomiting outside this building. I'm real bad. And I didn't even get my temperature checked, nothing. The doctor looked at me. I'm sorry, not even the doctor, his nurse looked at me. He says, do you have these symptoms? And he's like, yeah, I got the shakes. Everything hurts. I'm super hot.
Sepsis or something, right?
Yeah, I feel really bad. And he was like, no, you need to go to the hospital. So he wrote orders forcing the hospital to take me.
Except you had to take you in.
And I didn't make it, dude. It was the most horrifying moment in my life and most embarrassing all at the same time. I got into the car, vomited on myself. I shit myself. Everything that could come out of me came out of me because my body was shutting down. And I got into the emergency room, and I think I was crying already, telling the nurses I was sorry, apologizing to my wife. And the last thing I remember before going unconscious was being in the bathroom and my wife changing me. She was cleaning me up with wipies, and I was crying, telling her that I'm sorry. I should be more of a man. I shouldn't be having these problems. I should be taking care of you. And then they laid me on a gurney, and I was unconscious for 24 hours.
Jesus Christ.
I would wake up every few hours for a few minutes, and I'd see my wife crying. I'd wake up and I'd see her talking to doctors and nurses, people I didn't recognize in the room, injecting me or taking things out of me. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I ended up being in the hospital for cumulatively maybe a little bit over a month altogether, with a team of doctors that the first set of them decided that they wanted to do the stereotypical diabetic thing and cut off my feet.
Yeah.
They were going to take both feet and let me just deal with it. So, my wife said no. I didn't want to do that. And my doctor, Dr. Bender, which is the most hilarious name for a foot doctor ever.
What's his name?
Dr. Bender.
Dr. Fucking Futurama?
Yeah, like Futurama.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, so Dr. Bender said no, that he could treat my feet. So the hospital told him, the hospital staff, that if he could put together a team of doctors that would be willing to treat me, then he could undergo a treatment for me. But unless he could find doctors to do it, they would cut off my feet. So this one doctor went and called all his buddies and put together a team of doctors. I got an infectious diseases doctor from Africa. I got 2 cardiologists. I got a nurse and doctor from the hospital itself, which I can't remember her name. And he put together this team of Avenger doctors to save my legs and save my life and cure me. I ended up being toxic. My body was septic.
Septic, right? Sepsis?
Sepsis, yeah. So my body was so infected that I was poisonous. I had to get chunks of my right foot taken out. I had to get a chunk of my left toe taken out, and thus started trying to recover. And I couldn't beat the infection, and I think I got a month's worth of antibiotics pumped into me, and nothing. Christ, so I underwent I don't know how many tests until we found out why I wasn't healing. And it turns out that I have had bad knees because I had these blockages in the arteries above my knees. So you have these veins that go out from underneath your knee, right? And there's maybe like 3 or 4 big ones, right? And they separate and to give you blood further down. But right above your knee is one fucking valve. And that thing had this stone sitting in it. And
was it like a gallstone or something?
It was
or like a gout?
Shit, like an artery blockage, like you would get a fat blockage in your heart artery or something.
Like a calcium, like a calcium rock, right?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
They found them both, one in each knee, and I remembered months before we were thinking of getting me a knee surgery because doctors were telling me, "Oh, you have cartilage damage, like you have these blockages or something that are coming up on screen, and it just looks like scar tissue." It's like, cool, okay, well, I mean, if we get a knee replacement thing, that'll be fine. But it ended up being these 2 blockages. The first one, they went in with an angioplasty on my left leg, and they took that out with a balloon. And the second one, they tried to get it out with a balloon, and the stone was so big that in true Star Wars fashion, they had to shoot me with a laser like it was the fucking Death Star to break this rock, and then they put in a scoop to scoop out the stone, and then put in a balloon to open the artery to get my blood to go through.
Wow, it's so impressive, like all the medical shit that they could do nowadays. Like that just sounds fucking wild, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, for the most part, for every procedure they did, I was awake and watched it all happen. And nothing is scarier than being on a gurney like you are in an alien autopsy, and they're going to take you apart. And these doctors do it all the time, so they're laughing and they're joking and
they're fucking talking shit in the background.
It's a nothing.
Some dude's like, "Oh fuck, I lost my watch in there." Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I had one procedure done where the nurses were talking to each other, and the anesthesiologist comes in And she's like, "You're a big guy. I should probably give you the good stuff." And I was like, "Okay." She's like, "Are you nervous?" I was like, "Yeah, no, I'm real nervous." So my heart rate is picking up. And she looked at me straight in the face. She goes, "You know what? Yeah, I'm going to give you the good shit." And she counted to 3, unconscious.
Dude, that's the scariest shit to me, man. Like I'm not a big hospital guy, man. Like I grew up doing a lot of hospital stuff with Driscoll because of my stuff on my stomach and shit. So like growing up, I just like never would I ever choose hospital shit. But like, you know, a couple of years ago after I forgot what it was. It was either Anime Fiesta or after the South Texas Comic Con, I went to the hospital for that week. Remember I told you I got that pancreatitis shit?
Yeah.
And dude, man, like they were like there was nights where like I couldn't stop the pain and I couldn't handle it. And I tell the doc, like, he's like, "Oh, we're already giving you like a 0.5 morphine." And I was like, "Yo, kick it up to 1, please, dude. Like, like give me something, dude. I'm dying here." And the guy was like, "I got you, bro." And yeah, dude, that's like, but like, that's got to be like the scariest thing, right? Which is for me in hospital visits, someone else, even like going to the dentist, like someone in charge of how you stay awake or go to sleep, it makes me feel like how weak the human body is when it comes to like chemical warfare, I guess. Like how easy it is that someone can give you something and you're fucking like you said, what was it, like 3 seconds and you were asleep?
Yeah, she counted to 3 and I was gone. And I woke up maybe an hour and a half later and I was in the room with my wife and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, well I'm back here. I guess everything's done." Like I woke up.
By chance, like I want to ask you this because it always scares me. Like when they put you to sleep like that, like is there like by chance like memory or remnants of you like knowing what they're doing and you're just like stoned out of your mind and you're just like, oh, you're dealing with it at the moment, but at the end of it you're kind of like you don't really remember? Like
the third procedure, third procedure when I went unconscious after 3 seconds, no. But the second procedure, they gave me some really strong stuff and they said, "You're going to be out." And I wasn't. I was laying there looking at the ceiling and I could hear them talking in the screens. The room I was in had 1, 2, 3, like about 6 screens all around you. And the doctors are looking through the cameras to move things around in your body and all that jazz. And you're not supposed to be watching this, but I'm watching myself being played as though I was a level of Pac-Man, you know. So
fucking Mike, dude.
I'm watching this camera go through my body parts, and you can see the little image that is within you and how your arteries are laying out and how they're mapping everything. So I'm horrified, and the doctor is like, "You're awake?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know, your monitor on the left side went out." And I remember telling him that the monitor shut off.
Oh,
so
that's
an intercom button and talks to another person that's working all the tech. And like, "Yeah, the monitor should be coming on in a few minutes. Good catch, doctor." And the doctor's like, "Well, I didn't catch it. The patient did." So they're all talking to each other. "Well, how the hell's the patient awake?" And I was like, "I don't know, guys, but I'm awake."
The lady just goes and punches you in the face to try to knock you out, dude.
I probably would have
just
preferred
smashes
it.
you, dude.
I'm not gonna lie. I probably would have preferred it. But yeah, no.
That's gotta be the worst feeling, man.
No, I didn't anticipate how scared I would be after everything was done. I have had a lot of procedures, and for the vast bulk of them, I didn't know fear until I got home and had to realize how close I got to not being right. Yeah. So there were times when like my son didn't know how sick I was. So I would take his phone calls on Facebook Messenger and I put the phone real close to my face so all he would see was my face, but he couldn't see the monitors or whatever. And the nurses would turn down the volume of the machine so he couldn't hear. They went to above and beyond for me to keep this vision, this illusion for my son that daddy was okay. Because I mean, to him, I'm All Might, I'm Superman, I'm invincible, I'm unstoppable, and I was strapped to every machine known to man, getting enough chemicals to probably kill a horse to fight infections and stuff. It was scary. I didn't realize how horrified I was of everything until it was done, and I survived it.
That's a good. I mean, like so, like being. And I'm going to say like one of us, right? Like we're like nerdy dudes and we always have like this, I don't know, like for me, I always have like this bravado, like immortality. You would look at your heroes and you look up to these guys and you're like, it'll never happen to me. You know what I mean? But as we get older, we realize that, you know, we're just more like our parents than we are more than Superman or All Might, or like you said, like, We're more like just human in nature. And that
I think
mortality, when it hits you kind of hard, right?
Yeah, I think in that aspect, something that my son, after we finally did tell him, what was wrong with daddy, that he had surgeries and that he was sick, that there was these potential for things, right? I mean, shout out to my ex-wife. I don't really give her much praise. The woman drives me nuts. There's a reason why we aren't married anymore. But even she made the point to where, you need to see your son, or I'm going to take him to you just to have him be with you, because in case this is it, he gets to say goodbye to you. And after everything was done and I came out okay with everything, he started watching My Hero Academia a lot more. And I was like, well, why are you watching My Hero? He was like, well, because Daddy, you're like All Might. I was like, well, what do you mean? Daddy's not super strong. Daddy definitely doesn't have that physique. I don't got that. I mean, I got the upside down Dorito thing, but I'm much more round in the gut than I would like to be at this point. But he's like, no, All Might is hurt. All Might is sick, but he smiles, and that's what you're doing. And it made sense the way he was seeing. All Might in that cartoon is gritting his teeth. That's why he looks like he's smiling all the time. He's
all the time.
Yeah, he's gritting his teeth through the pain, and that's what my son was equating everything I was going through. That he was Deku and he was learning from me, and he was going to be strong for me, and he was going to be the next greatest hero because that's what I wanted of him. And to him, I was sick and hurt, but I would smile and do everything I could for him because that's just what he saw me as. And yeah, it was an amazingly eye-opening experience for being a geek. You don't really stop and think of what your media is doing to you while it's happening. But
so
after
I kind of want to touch on that, Mike. I don't know if you spoke on it earlier, but and I'm glad. Listen, everything that you said, you and I have had a conversation on the side. I've got the rundown, so I don't have many questions about that. But what we haven't touched on is post the scare, like how your outlook on everything, and how's that changed, and what are you enjoying more now than you did before that you took for granted, and tell me a little bit about that.
I think it comes down to, and this is the nerdiest Dungeons and Dragons thing I could possibly say.
Oh God, here we go.
But I enjoy magic more, and
okay,
it's something that I explained to my son, that to turn the tablet off and to walk outside, and there's magic everywhere. You listen to the wind and the noise it makes. The wind is singing. The way the sunlight hits, rain, and the way water feels, and grass. I remember making a joke that I was playing with my son outside after all these procedures, and I fell. I fell on the grass so hard that I bounced. I fucking ate shit. And anytime before the procedures, if I had fallen like that, it would have been over. I would have been sick for days, like vomiting from pain. I would have been unable to move. But I got the fuck up. Like I was able to stand up. Like, mind you, my poor wife is lifting my over 200-pound ass off the floor. But I got up. I'm able to walk around the zoo, and I get super exhausted. My body can't last forever. Even right now, like at the moment from the day I've had, I'm shaking sitting here. Like my body is shaking from the exertion. But I am glad to be shaking, because the alternative is I would not be here talking to you.
Yeah.
You would have buried my ass a few months ago, most likely. My wife would be a widow. I would have a son with no father. It would have been a whole other story. And I'm glad to be here. So yeah, I enjoy magic more. Just mundane, everyday magic of a firefly and dragonflies, damn mosquitoes that bite me. I can feel the pain and shit. It sucks, but I'm here and I'm glad for it.
But you're experiencing.
Yeah.
You're experiencing. So throughout your recovery, now that your recovery's been a couple of months already, that you kind of been into it, yeah. What type of health life choices have you made to better your life, and has it been working?
Well, the health life choices have been interesting. I was doing, and it's something that was really weird since I've been diabetic for so long. My A1C is great. My sugar levels are controlled, and I do a lot of things that diabetics in the valley normally don't do. I take care of myself. So
Good.
I didn't have to change much in my lifestyle. But now, since I've been in recovery, I've been unable to exercise. I can't ride a bike. I can't jog. The things I normally did to try to stay healthy went out the window. Yeah. So now we're barely getting my feet to be able to carry me and walk around and do things. So we're barely getting back into that process.
Good. And diet and all that stuff, like you're already kind of like changing things up a lot.
Well, even then, I lived a protein-heavy, carb-low, sugar-free, mostly diet.
Oh, okay. So you are already maintaining.
I was already just doing all that, and which is
So-
what baffled the doctors. They didn't understand why I was so damaged for all the things I was already doing.
Was it like do you think maybe it was like an iron deficiency thing or something that maybe was because of that blockage or something?
We're not sure. It could
Oh,
be
shit.
countless things. At this point, I have inherited from both sides of my family so many different types of diseases that I could have. It's ridiculous. We just did a sleep apnea study.
Okay.
Because I stop breathing at night now, so we know that. But in the midst of doing that, we found that I have something called, what is it called, love? I have something called dextroposition. That means my heart isn't sitting in the right place.
It's like off centered or something, or
yeah, it's
on the
it's
wrong
too
side.
far. Yeah, too far on the wrong side. That
You're
apparently
like that ninja movie. Remember that ninja movie?
Yeah, where they
Ninja
stab the
assassin,
guy
right?
with the
It's already
chest
on the
and
other
stuff there.
side.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a
so,
fucking superhero, Mike.
Yeah, so according to the doctor, at some point he believes that I received such a huge impact that my heart shifted.
Oh fuck, dude.
If it had shifted any further, the valves would have come apart, and I would have.
Yeah, that would have fucked you up real bad. It would have even probably like the pressure would close off an artery or something like that, or put a lot of pressure, and it would be like super difficult. Super difficult.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
fuck,
at this point, it's day to day. I have another procedure coming up in February, another surgery, and yeah, we keep going, man. I don't know how to explain it past that. Yeah, and I keep making the same joke that at this point, if the universe was going to kill me, it's gonna have to try a little fucking harder. Because
it's gonna try harder.
Yeah, I've taken everything at this point. I've gotten back up.
Yeah, you're like Boris the Bullet Dodger, dude.
Yeah, basically.
Good reference. Good reference. No, Michael, it's good, man. I mean, I know you had some medical stuff going on, and yeah, I didn't know how dire it was. I knew you were in the hospital a bunch. I mean, I saw your posts and I saw that stuff, and I mean, I know you'd always had been battling, of course, like within the last like 2 years, with like the knee stuff, and then of course like diabetes and stuff like that. Which is, we talked about it earlier, how it's super dire down here in the valley. You know, everything, dude. I literally, you can fucking, don't hate me, Mike, and don't hate me, Brian. I literally just spent $35 buying a bunch of gummy bears at a fucking candy shop at the South Padre Island area. So like, even my friends were like, "Really, Chris, dude? Like $35 of gummy bears?" And I was like, "Well, you don't have them. I do."
Yeah.
Yeah, your gummy bears are mine. But it's I love candies, and that's probably gonna be my downfall too one day. But you know me, I've always been athletics kind of guy, like, you know, pushing on the idea of being in shape or doing something and whatnot. It's always just, it's literally in my fucking DNA. Like, I can't stop doing that stuff because I've always had this weird motto that's like, you ever see those movies, those like end of the world movies, and it's like a big ass sinkhole opens up and you see like those first couple of like people that don't have a name in the credits, they just fall in.
Yeah.
And then you have like your one or two that are holding on and someone's pulling them up, and then the hero will pull themselves up. I tell people those are the three people in life. You're either the fucking guy that falls in the hole, the guy that holds on long enough, or the one that can pull yourself up. And I was like, at least be one of the two. Don't be the first one that just falls in, because no one's gonna remember your name in the credits, dude. So Mike, I'm happy you're holding on, man, and pulling yourself up by your bootstraps now, man. Like, I'm super happy, dude, that you're being a lot better and it's working out.
Yeah, and it was a choice. I remember Brian made a really good point. He gave me a call out of the blue. He was like, "What the hell's going on with you? We haven't heard from you in a while." So I told him, you know, this is my health situation, and you know, having the almost stroke, and you know, my body giving out and all that jazz is the way everything happened. All the pieces fell, right? And I was like, I didn't tell anybody because I grew up with, and you know, that Mexican man mentality. You know,
you don't tell anybody.
No one needs to know. You know, they're gonna all start rumors or something. You know, that mentality, that type of thing. So
I love Brian, dude. That's why I love Brian so much. Brian, where the fuck did Brian go? Lost his fucking his internet probably went out real quick. That's why I love the guy, man, because he does things that none of us really do down here, which is like he does brother checks like out of nowhere. And it doesn't have to be based on some kind of weird like Facebook post or something that he saw online. Like he'll literally just call and be like, "Hey, what the fuck is wrong?"
Yeah, he called me to talk about Star Wars. And I was like, okay, well, he's like, yeah, I had these questions because I haven't talked to you in a while. I was like, oh, yeah, man. So he goes, well, how are you? So I told him. He's like, why haven't you told anybody? I said, well, I mean, there's a thing that I didn't think anybody needed to know. But I think that's something I'm deciding to change now, just to answer questions, because I don't need anybody else going through what I went through.
Sure.
If somebody has a question about health or, how to handle your health insurance or what the hell a doctor, what kind of doctor to look for, or things to look for in medical practitioners, I'll answer those questions, man, because I've done all those things already for you guys. There's no reason for you to be blind.
100%. Triggs, what's up, man? Welcome. I know you're still on your way home too. So we're here with Michael Betancourt. He's telling us his fucking crazy life journey, dude. His whole Dungeons and Dragons life, dude. Crazy shit, dude.
Hell yeah, drugs.
Yeah, he's been in a medical rut. So yeah, we're just here. Triggs, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Dude, I was in it, bro. Just so busy, and like my shift kicked my ass, and so that's why I was just like, fuck, okay, like I like need to do this. I need to do this. All right, fuck it. I need to go get gas right now too. All this other stuff. All right, man, fuck it. Like let me do this. Let me do that, and so now I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking call for my car. Fuck it.
Right. Well, you're gonna get home in a little bit, right?
Probably like 20 minutes. I live in San Juan. I'm in.
Yeah, I remember.
Do
you have any questions for?
Like he was fucking Bruce Wayne calling for Alfred to come get him a few minutes ago.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's fuck. Alfred, come get me. I decided to hang glide off the fucking tower and I didn't know how to land.
The Batmobile pulled up.
Drugs.
I got that part of that movie so bad, dude. The Batman movie when he hits the bridge, remember? And he like the walk of shame, dude. He's like limping into the alley, dude. Like if no one's watching this guy in broad daylight and shit. But yeah, Mike, I'm fucking happy you're good, man. Like I'm happy nothing drastic happened. And you're on the road to recovery. Like I think that's the most important thing. How are you I gotta ask you this because as a man, it's always rough, right? Because as men, like you said, like we're kind of brought up to be like this machismo shit. But what's your to let the walls down a bit since you're amongst friends, like how has been the pressure of maintaining the machismo? You know what I mean? Because that shit is not fucking easy, man.
It was rough. I remember having to have a fight with my mother of all people.
Jeez,
and my middle sister, because I have two sisters, right? I have a 40-year-old sister and I have an 18-year-old sister. So my mother and the middle sister have this mentality, well, Michael's the rock of the family. Michael will always be there to fix the problems. And that's what I am. I mean, I'm the fixer. They fight with each other. I repair the damage. And they were arguing with each other, yelling at each other. And I think I was still in the hospital. And nobody believed that I was having these problems until my wife called and was like, hey guys, this is bad. Like we're not sure Michael's going to make it. So they didn't take her word for it at first, and I went through my first surgery, and then after I came out of it, and we're lucky that I came out of it. Then they're like, "Oh shit, no, this is real," and I got real pissed off. I was like, "How come is it that I'm nearly almost dying, and you don't want to believe that I can get sick?" And I'm telling you, there's no guarantee I will be here tomorrow. So you people better fix your shit amongst each other because I can't do it for you anymore.
Yeah.
And it took a lot of literal willpower for me to admit that I wasn't the rock anymore. That I couldn't carry everybody else's weight because I couldn't carry my own literally.
Yeah, I get that. I 100% understand that. But Mike, you're still a rock, dude. So don't ever think you're not. Still a rock. Look at you right now, dude. You're gonna be a rock in a bit when we're gonna talk about how half of us didn't like Ahsoka or what if fucking Alkalites or whatever the fuck. Yeah. You're going to be like, oh, it was amazing, guys. And we're going to be like, no, man. But you're going to be that rock.
You'll be alone in the ocean, but I'll be there. Fuck it.
Mike, this is why we need you to be good and healthy, Mike, because I need someone to like Star Wars when no one else does.
Well,
okay?
Big shout out.
You're like, please give me all the Star Wars. Mike, okay, so I'm, Is there anything that you would like to give people for advice when it comes to like having this type of medical condition or anything that's close to this medical condition to inspire them to do something different? Like, is there something you'd like to say?
Number one is get yourself a primary care physician. Get yourself a doctor. All of us go to urgent care, and all of us go to the emergency room because that it's last minute. It's what you do. But establish a relationship. If it hadn't been for Vicente Granado, and he's a nurse practitioner that is my primary care physician. He started off as a vendor at PokeFest. Dude, I remember back in the day when he was selling Pokemon cards before he went into the medical field. But that man gave so much of a shit. He cared so much for me that he gave me a house call. One day I decided I was going to go work PokeFest for Margaret the last year. And they weren't sure they could medically clear me to go work the event. So he's like, Michael, if you can get me in the door, I will go check you that morning at the show, and I will tell you if you can stay or not. So he drove from Brownsville all the way to McAllen. He got in the door, and he examined me on the spot and says, you can do it, but do these specific things to the day, and you'll make it. And that's because I had a primary care, somebody that had a relationship with me that knew how important it was for me, not only as a patient, but as a man, to be able to say, I'm going to work today and make some money. Or I'm going to be able to interact with people because I've been in the house for weeks because I'm a talker. I need to talk to people, but I couldn't leave bed, right? So, get yourself an actual doctor. We used to see it in the 80s and the 90s on all the sitcoms, right? Y'all had that doctor that was with them forever and all that stuff. You can get those. Go establish a relationship. It's scary and you'll be nervous, but you can go to an office as long as you have insurance or shit. If you don't, most of these guys will do private pay and they'll let you do a payment plan. But you got to ask. You got to ask. Yep.
Yeah, I think the moment he gives me that lift, you know what I mean? We're best friends, dude. The moment hey, Triggs, the moment that doctor comes in and gives you the old wiggle, like we're like, hey, bro, besties. Fucking besties. He's going to know the kind of underwear I have every day, dude. But that's good, Mike. I'm glad. Go ahead, Triggs. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, I was like, no, man, I get it, especially with the whole machismo thing and being nervous, because, like, so I don't usually get sick. I've actually been, like, in and out of, like, I'm not going to say being sick, but, like, feeling not okay or good. Yeah. And, like, allergies or, like, a cold or, whatever. And, dude, it's been fucking my shit up for, like, a month now, right? Obviously, apples to oranges when it comes to, Mr. Betancourt. But, dude, I got a woman to provide for. Like, you can't stop. And it sucks because even though Audrey makes infinitely more money than I do, it's one of those things where, like, you feel that if you take that day off of work and you don't put in your work to provide, then you feel less than.
Yeah, 100%, and that's
100%.
The machismo thing. That's where, as a man, we're taught to always work, and I need people to understand that we're not fucking cars. The check engine light is on. You do not let that thing keep running, because if you felt sick for a month and you don't check, after a month that thing has gotten worse. Whatever the hell was the problem to begin with has gotten worse, and it's going to continue to get worse. It's easier to fix a small problem when it first starts than to have to change the whole fucking engine.
Yep,
and like
100%.
Said, we're not cars. I can't call Toyota and get a new heart for Michael Betancourt. Like, no, you go to the doctor, establish a relationship, get your shit checked, do the blood work. It all sucks. It's not fun, but you get to know what's wrong, and you can take steps to fix it when you have time. Don't be like me and pray to God that you get lucky. Like I tell you, if I didn't have Dr. Michael Balderas, Dr. Michael Evans, and Dr. Bender as my primary doctors to take care of me in the emergency room, I would have lost both feet, and I probably would have kicked the bucket. I would have been depressed afterwards, and I probably would have given up. But these doctors decided, like, no, we're gonna band together, we're gonna fight for this guy, and yeah, man, I wrote these guys glowing reviews because they cared. I wasn't just a medical chart. I wasn't a number,
Yeah, you weren't just a number.
Yeah, same thing with my primary carry, Vicente Granado. Like I said, I remember him being a vendor at one of the first Poke Fests I worked when we were at Archer Park in the stupid pavilion. And it was
Man, back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah, so I remember him being there, and now he's my doctor. And him and I nerd out. We talk about Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and stuff like that. But he knows what medications I need to take, and he's willing to go check on me when nobody else would.
When nobody else was.
Yeah, and then a big shout out, and it's probably one of the weirdest things that I had to accept was that my wife is stronger than me in every way, and if it wasn't for her, if it wasn't for my lovely Shayna, I wouldn't be here. She was determined to keep me here on days where I was crying because I was sick from the pain and I didn't want to move anymore. She would make me get up and remind me that we have our son to get up for, that I have a dog that wants to see me, that I got 2 cats that are pains in my ass, that I have things to do.
Yep.
So, yeah.
100%. That's what a good partner is, man.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what a good partner is. Good. Mike, okay, so let's get away from the sad stuff, man, because I fucking love that you're here, and I love that everything's going better. Shayna did us a huge solid by keeping you here with us. keeping you here with us. Did Star Wars a fucking solid? I'll tell you that much, man. Jesus Christ.
Dude, you haven't seen Acolyte, that fucking golden standard of Star Wars choreography?
A fucking film cinema.
Yeah, dude.
What is it?
Yeah,
I think we talked. When I had you here the last time, I
Martin-
swear we
yeah,
talked
dude,
about the
Martin
Acolyte.
Scorsese and Quentin Tarantino said that
Yeah.
they're going to base their next movies on the biopics of the lives of these fucking people.
Okay, Mike, what I got to do now is I have to ask.
Okay.
2024 was such a fucking flimsy year, dude. Like flimsy, dude. Like if you buy one of those weird straw hats at the beach flimsies, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the easiest thing
We
I
all
can do
bought
is
one of the tea breaks because we were all drunk. And
Yeah,
it was
dude.
$2.
We're
Yeah,
talking one. We're talking one ply, gentlemen.
one ply toilet paper here. The one that you can't wipe, your fingers go through sometimes. You know what I mean? What was your biggest, like, give me like 1 or 2 of your biggest positives in the nerd community, and then just list off all the negatives, dude, if you can, like, because I don't want to say, like, because there was a lot of negatives in the nerd community this year, but I mean, what were your positives of 2024? What were your negatives of 2024?
The positives of 2024 in the nerd community,
Yeah.
I think books as a whole, novels, horror, fantasy, romance, and everything, got way more love than they were getting in years past. People remembered that they could fucking read.
Yeah, I like that.
Great.
You know what, dude? That's true, man. Because my wife's a really, really big reader,
Yep.
and man, we were like
You were
hunting
living.
books down
You were eating.
on like all of 2024. Like she was like,
Trigger,
Triggs, you
your
need to
wife
find me
better
this
read
fucking
my romance story come out on Valentine's Day. And I
Mhm.
think she'll dig that. It's pre-order right now for $2.99. It's
Jeez.
that time I fell in love with a cryptid and had to convince Mothman to love me back.
Hell yeah.
Awesome, man. What the fuck? That's crazy.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's based on Fallout.
Based on Fallout.
So oddly enough, I've been submitting way more stories and getting picked up in these books and anthologies. Once again, shout out to my wife who convinced me to use all these stories that have been sitting there and send them into companies. So this one company was having trouble getting anybody to send anything that wasn't just a traditional romance stuff. And I have a really unique thing that has labeled me a sellout in the author community, oddly enough. Since I got my career in marketing public relations, I know how to write what people ask me for.
Mhm.
So you want something specific, I'll just spit that out for you. So they wanted romance and they wanted something with a happy ending and they wanted to be weird. So I've watched K-dramas before. We've seen those anime with 9,000 words for a title. You know, that time I got reincarnated as a slime in a dungeon with sexy girls or whatever.
Mhm.
So I took that idea and wrote a romance of a woman that falls in love with Mothman and then goes and causes disasters to try to get Mothman to show up again.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it's a unique take on a romance that does have a happy ending. It's a weird ending, but it's a happy ending. Then it comes to Valentine's Day.
What is your when you write your stories and you write your books, like what's the length of the book that you're writing?
Well, usually when I write a story, every company has their own individual length. They're usually anywhere from 4,000 words to 10,000. And I'll usually sit about 3,900 just to go right under the mark. Yeah, because I don't ever want to hit it or go over it. But it is usually about 4,000 words per story. So if you're looking at pages, anywhere from 10 to 12 pages, roughly.
Okay. Good
Yeah,
shit,
so
dude. Good shit.
short stories, yeah.
Man, Mike, I'm gonna have to someday. Maybe even we gotta sit down and have like a really good discussion, because I remember like 2 years ago, I was all, New Year's resolution, new year, new me. I'm gonna look like a good chick in the club or whatever. I wanted to write a book. Like I wanted to publish a book, at least to be known as like I think that's a cool like thing to put on your resume when you're like a creator or an influencer or something, that you have like a resume of having like author like in your resume.
Yeah,
Like that you wrote something, right? And there was like a, there's a big pickup on it. Like there's a lot of people out there doing self-help books and shit like that, right?
I don't know where. I'm gonna see if my wife can find it, but it's something that happened to me. I still have trouble being able to say that I'm an author.
Really?
You think author is Stephen King and George R. Martin, and they're these huge guys with these huge books and huge series. They're on TV and movies, and that's all amazing. But I have a physical books that have my story in them.
Yeah, so dude, you're an author, man.
Yeah,
you got it. You got it going on, man. Got it going on.
It blows my mind that I pulled it off, because the first story I sent out was a dragon story. It's Hellboy inspired, and it's about a knight that I named after my son. And the story has him living in San Antonio, working for the Knights of St. George, and they gathered up all these monsters to fight other monsters. And the Catholic Church has these guys, and they launch this team of soldiers out, and they send this team to the Rio Grande Valley. They actually go to Rio Grande City and cross over to Mexico to fight this Russian dragon creature that's just eating people and moving in to the valley. Nice. So it's crazy that I can have, and it's weird because I'm gonna gush a little bit about it, but I got to be able to get the book, and I cried when I got it because it has my name, it's my story. The back has my bio with my picture on it, and I was able to hold that and show it to my son, where his name is in the book. The character's named after you, Joshua, and you fought the monster, you did all these crazy things. Yep. And I never thought I'd ever be here. I never thought I'd be an author. I'd have something out like that, and people can buy it online. I had family members that I hadn't talked to in years. Matter of fact, I had a buddy that I hadn't seen since we graduated high school in 2002. That's quite a bit of time ago. It's over 20 years ago. Yeah. And he bought the book online, and he read it, and he was like, dude, I never would have thought using that type of monster for that. That was awesome. I was like, holy crap.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Yeah. So like when you, because I've known you for a while. You're a creator, man. Your imagination has no bounds. You know what I mean? You're like myself, Dungeons and Dragons kind of guy, like to go out there and like to create stories and stuff. What is your goal, and what is your end game for the stories that you want to write?
No, I think the goal right now is to write enough short stories to where I have to stop submitting, that I'm starting to get asked to write for a specific story. Because right now I'm auditioning. Basically, it's the way an actor starts. Mm-hmm. So I'm running everything like I would be if I'm in the beginning of a career. I'm doing internships, I do sell all these. I get money for the stories that I sell. But it's just beginning stuff. So once I have my name out there more and more, I can go ahead and write my own book and probably take the story that's in this book right here.
Yeah.
Go ahead and turn that into a novel. And it's, like I said, it's crazy because I didn't think I'd ever be here. You grow up, and I remember being a kid and telling my mom that I wanted to draw for Marvel Comics. Yep. And the first thing she said to me is like, Nico, you're gonna need to get a better plan.
Real job.
Yeah, no real guy from the Valley is ever gonna work for Marvel Comics.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart, but I did what she said. I gave up on the idea, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do something else. But now, I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera here. Let's see if I can see
it. Yeah. There you are, dude.
There's my name, yeah.
Yeah, Michael Betancourt.
Yeah, I have a hardcover book that when I got a hold of it, I I cried. I was like, man, what in the hell, dude?
We got Brian back, baby.
Welcome back, man.
Well, geez, sorry about that, fellas.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Just want to make
Yeah,
sure you're good. I don't know if
Yeah,
your
yeah.
like camera or your computer crashed or something.
Yeah. What's going on?
No, we're just talking about Mike. I asked him about
You guys are still on this guy, man. I mean, all right, listen, we get it, bro. Like we understand, we get it, bro. Like what
No,
I'm joking.
we're talking about the good stuff. We're talking about my writing and
the writing.
being
Yeah,
an author and
Look
all
at that
that.
sexy man over there.
yeah,
bro.
yeah. I was telling him, I was like, look,
Sexy
like,
picture.
you know, I think a lot of people who are like creators and people that have like imaginations, like even in their older ages, like there comes a certain time where you kind of desire to revel in the idea of being like an author or a creator in that legacy to be able to put something out, right? That was like something like for me, like 2 years ago, like I wanted to write a book, like I wanted to publish something to be able to be known as just an author, like just to be able to put something on my resume that's like, look, I'm an author, I did something. And of course, like your brain kind of goes up. What's up, Mulder? Good to see you, my man, Mike, in the comment section. You get that opportunity to do something in such a weird nature that you, as a child, didn't know was possible. Like you didn't know was possible.
Yeah,
So,
I think
I was telling Mike, like, man, I gotta get with Mike one day, so that way it's like we got to be able to try to make our own book or something, dude. I would love to learn how to like publish a book. And Mike was kind of letting me know because my idea has always been like, how many pages, you know, what do you got to do to have it like solid? Like, where do you put it out? We all know like the Amazon thing is like 27 pages or something like that.
That's something I'm doing different. So there's a lot of authors in the Valley that are self-published. You know, they put it through Amazon, they print out their own book and all that jazz, and that's 100% legitimate. And that's great. But I wanted to earn my stripes. So everything I'm doing is traditional publishing. I submit to a company and I have them review it and see if they like it, and they buy it from me, and they pay for publishing. I don't got to pay for these books. I am buying the books. I am paying to print them. That's all these companies, all these publishers are doing. Like the first book is done by Storm Dragon Publishing. That's the first company that did it. Oddly enough, a lot of Dragon companies buy my work. The next company is Dragon Press. Dragon Soul Press is the next company that's doing the romance.
Everybody just got dragons, man. What the fuck?
Yeah,
everybody's just dragging their nuts.
Yeah, but the number one tip, and it's something that my wife made me do. So I downloaded Docs, the Doc app on my phone.
Okay.
And I write on that. I write on my phone because no matter where I am, I don't have to force myself to. I'm gonna have to be here for 3-4 hours or whatever. I can just write wherever, however, whenever I want to do, kind of a deal.
Triggs just jumping in and out, just wanting to be special and shit. Just wanted to get it. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna jump in and out until someone recognizes me. That's it. But Mike, that's awesome, man. So how many stories are you in now, man?
I have one magazine that I'm out in right now for my story, Girl Crush, and it's about a succubus that falls in love with a knight, and the horrible things she does to prove that he's her true love. Yeah, so I have that out. I have 3 different books that have my stories in them, which Dragon Dreams you can purchase now. And that's the story about the Hellboy inspired company, like the BPRD inspired group called the Knights of St. George. I have the romance novel that is That Time I Fell in Love with a Cryptid and Had to Convince Mothman to Love Me. It comes out down.
That's funny.
And then I have a vampire story called The Door that'll be coming out later this year in a book called Vampire Visions.
Well, Mike, I don't know if you saw, but me and Brian were in a movie once.
No, I saw. I watched it. I watched it.
Is there any way that the average boys can get put in your book or what?
Yeah, I could probably put you in the. That's not a problem. As long as you'll sign paperwork saying I don't got to pay.
Yeah. As long as you ain't claiming no checks and shit, we're gonna be good, boys. Yo, boys, if you had a chance to write a book,
was it Blunt Man and Chronic? You know,
Blunt Man and Chronic, 100%. Okay, Brian.
I tried that fight. Yeah.
Brian and Triggs, if you had the opportunity to be in a book or write a book or whatever, what would it be? Give it to me. I need to know. I need to know what Brian's book would be about, and I need to know what Triggs' book would be about.
If I were writing a book, you said?
If you're writing a book, if you're going to make a story right now, what would your story be about?
I don't know. Triggs, you're up.
So I've actually had this story I've actually tried writing this story and putting it like every once in a while I kind of just jot down a few more ideas. I've actually had a story in mind for a very, 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 very long time. And I just want to preface everything that I'm saying in I had this idea long before Sword Art Online came out. Uh, but the idea that I had, and this, dude, I was like a fucking teenager when this happened, and then I like refined my story a little bit and changed it when I was in the military. Was that, uh, man, this is like super embarrassing, but like, was that, uh, you take a like a fucking super duper nerdy kid and you put him in a video game, but all of his bullies are in the video game with him, so they're living the video game life, and
Okay.
it's an actual life and death game, but they're
Like the
in
Lord
the
of the
video.
Flies in Rust
Yeah,
or whatever.
but like they come to find out that like this like nerdy kid is like ridiculously overpowered because that's all he does. He just played his character. So he's
Oh,
like
okay.
maxed out in everything, and like instead of bullying his bullies, he kind of just leaves them to like their fate. He's just like, "Hey man, we'll figure it out just the way I did." You know?
It's the Batman mentality. I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Yeah.
But
That's
And
like
so
Overlord, isn't it? Isn't that the anime Overlord almost?
no.
No?
Overlord, he gets trapped in the game, but he was just OP as it was. And
Yeah.
he was just like, well, since I'm already here, I might as well just continue doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
And there's going to be literally no repercussion for it. So fuck it.
Yeah.
I'll just
That's
continue to be a complete prick.
yeah, 100%. That anime, a lot of those animes, I can't watch because there's no stakes, nothing.
yeah, there's never any stakes in that. Yeah, yeah. That
But
makes
it's
a
too
lot of
damn
sense.
OP.
See, that's why I really only like the first season of Sword Art and like the last one. Like
Mhm.
Alicization, I thought was fucking beautiful, and then the first season of
Yeah,
Sword Art was amazing. But yeah, like I said, I had this idea long before Sword Art ever came out, and then when it did come out, I was like, this motherfucker, and just like I was like, well, there goes my idea, and so yeah.
I mean, it can still happen. There's an entire genre of isekai. I mean, even in novels, we have like
Yeah,
the
but like
story
my
Jersey
story
Color
wasn't an
Pearl.
isekai whatsoever. It just happened to be like, hey, well, like because
Well,
like there's no like harem in this like story.
well, write your story. Just have Truckun hit the guy and put him in the other world. It'll be all right. This is
Yeah,
a
he'll be good.
Truckun.
He'll be
It'll
good
be
to
all
go.
right.
Right? I have to get hit by a truck.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah,
I have to get
Truckun,
hit by a
your brother.
truck.
There's your,
There has to be a god that talks to me all the time or something.
Mhm.
And there you go, dude.
Hashtag solo leveling.
Dude,
Hashtag solo
solo
leveling
leveling.
is
Oh,
good. It's
dude,
so
and
good.
right now Ragnarok that's coming out, which is
Yeah.
based on his son, is
Mhm.
also. I mean, it's not as good as the original solo leveling, but it's still a good story.
I had this story a while back that I wanted to do, which was I used to love like the underworld movies and Blade and all that shit. I like that whole like where the idea of the
Grey
vampire
Noir.
wasn't like your Bram Stoker's. It was very much like the new age dudes that hang out at raves kind of shit. I don't know. It was really like that the black leather and Matrix kind of vibes. Um, I wanted to do this one where it was like a group of people that hunt vampires, but the vampires find a way to inject a certain drug into like a normal human being, and they take the blood from the human after it's been injected with the drug, and then they take it, which makes like a vampire into like a meth head. You know what I mean? Like a meth head vampire. So yeah,
Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
yeah, man, fucking Blade and shit, like that, just crazy stuff. But yeah, okay, Mike. So going back to what we asked you, 2024 positives in the nerd community, as in the sense of like maybe like shows or films or something that you looked at that you were like this was good, and then the negatives.
a major positive out of 2024 was that a lot of shows ended. You know, there were shows that were holding on for dear life. You know, the CW world had to close already. You
Oh
know, we
yeah.
were dragging the thing out for all it was worth, and I get it. I mean, the Superman show ended wonderfully. I mean, for what we
Oof.
could get out of it, it was great. but that world it need to stop so we can get new things. Like I said, novels as a whole, people reading again, wonderful. Video games, Baldur's Gates, we had the new Dragon Age. All the games coming out were great things, for the video game.
Dude, Dragon's Dogma 2? Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, those.
Dragon Dogma 2.
Oh
yeah, Black Wukong also. Black Wukong was fucking dope as shit, dude.
Yeah, dude. And speaking of solo leveling, we got solo leveling.
Yep.
What about negatives, Mike? What about negatives? You're not a negative guy, Mike. You like a lot of stuff. So.
Yeah, and the negative.
If it was in a galaxy far, far away, it was negative.
It's something that I told Brian. We were having a conversation about it. Was we got the Star Wars we deserved? That's the negative.
Man, you think so?
Base, yeah, as a fan base, we have bitched and moaned and cried and complained and been 100% bipolar of what we want. We want new things, but we don't want it to be too new. We want Jedi, but we don't want it to be a Skywalker. We want Sith, but we don't want it to be just two. We want Darth Vader, but not that Darth Vader. We want this Anakin, not that Anakin. Yeah. None of stuff made sense. So the stories we got.
You know what? We all get nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, so that's
good day, sir.
Star Wars we got is because we deserved it 100%.
Yes. Dude, hot take.
Okay, so Mike,
that's the hot take.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a pretty hot take.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
there's this.
I
it reminded me.
Called out as like a Star Wars fan right now.
But there's this really fucking great song, dude.
We are as toxic as some of the damn girlfriends I've had in the past, dude. Like we want all the attention, but we don't want you this close. And we want you to spend money here, but we don't want it that way. We want you to hug us and give us this type of force. Oh, but it can't do that because in this book it said this.
All right, Mike, let me ask you a question. How does Kathleen Kennedy or Disney or Star Wars, how do they course correct this in your eyes as being a fan? How do they course correct this?
And it's going to go back to the conversation that I had with Brian again. Skeleton Crew course corrects because it's an original story that focuses on adventure, that has stakes, but not intergalactic, world-ending, main canon ending stakes. It's something you could enjoy and have fun with in the Star Wars universe. You knew it was Star Wars. We got our call outs to the Jedi, and we got our call outs to the Empire and the wars and everything. We got all those call outs, but it was brand new. It was something that you could safely get into and course correct that way instead of having to worry about, okay, in the last 3 movies, Rey did this, 9,000 fans hated this thing, so now we need to do it this way. But if we do it that way, it's going to crap out this other universe in the Mandalorian. There's too many puzzle pieces at this point.
Since we're here, are we just gonna? You want to just jump into the finale?
Yeah, fuck yeah, let's talk about it. Yeah.
Is everyone all caught up? Everyone watched it?
Yeah, we're pretty much caught up on it. I mean, I don't know, Triggs. I don't think Triggs. You haven't seen Skeleton Crew, right?
I'm not. I'll jump after it.
I'll target audience.
Jump on it later.
Yes,
not the target audience.
Definitely a bathroom break for you. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But
it's not that like I just I would like to preface that the reason I haven't watched it isn't because I've been underwhelmed or let down by the current culture of Star Wars. It's just I've been fucking beyond busy, and because of that, I have been in a position where like, dude, if I'm not like drunk as shit, like I'm not watching it, I'm like 4 in the morning, like maybe picking up something.
Yeah,
that's the wrong show to be watching drunk, to be honest.
Yeah, I was like, it's a kid's show, man.
And not only that, it's just there's not enough, like in order for you to be entertained while you're drunk, speaking from someone that likes to watch shit drunk, you have to be like, you got to have some action, some entertainment. It's really lacking that. But before I jump into how I feel about it, Mike, you are the honorary guest. I told you behind the scenes that I invited you here to speak about this topic specifically, in addition to everything else that you want to talk about, because I know how me and Chris are going to feel about this, and it's probably not going to get. It's probably not going to get a lot of positivity. So I needed someone to represent a positive scope
The
you
current
know,
scope of Star Wars.
about Star Wars. So you have the floor, my good sir. You were kind of behind when I kind of touched base with you, but now you're all cut up. How is your feelings about the show in totality?
Skeleton Crew as a whole is Star Wars the way we saw it when we were children. It's through untarnished eyes, and with that mentality, it was perfect. I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10 for good story, decent pacing. Wasn't the best pacing, but decent pacing. It gave us action when we wanted action. Great comedy for situations that were very Goonies, 1980s style kind of action sequences.
And Brian said that he was like, it reminds me a lot of Goonies. Like there was some Goonies
Exactly what it
shit,
is.
like shit. When he would describe it to us, because like I still hadn't watched it, and I was just like, okay, Goonies, safe reference. I like it.
There was even literature callouts. I mean, we have the bot SM33. He's named after Smee from Captain Hook's right hand man, and that's what he is. He's the second in command on that ship. Those small little things allowed people to touch different aspects, not only of Disney properties, but at the same time of the Star Wars universe, and absorb new things and say, you know what, now I want to go back and watch what happened in that trilogy and what happened here, because it opens up that world.
Damn, Liz in the comment section's like, I got rid of Disney Plus, so I have no idea what's happening in Star Wars right now. But respecting that, I can understand that. I can really understand that.
Yeah. Also, shout out Liz. I'm glad that you know what Vampire the Masquerade is. A lot of people don't. That was a great game to play back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, your thoughts on the show?
It really didn't falter any more than from episode like 5 or 6. I thought the show was good. Like, it was fun. It had, its little adventure and stuff like that. But I don't feel like it carried enough gravitas for me to care about it in the Star Wars universe overall. Like, I feel like this idea would have worked better when The Force Unleashed or The Force Awakens, the first movie that came back, like episode 7. I think if they would have released it around that time, I think it would have hit a little bit harder and better, because the people would have been expecting to see a different Star Wars. I think this is like a really last minute Hail Mary for them to save what they were trying to save this entire time. Like, that's what I really, really think. Was it a bad show? No, I didn't think so. I think kids would really love this show. But like Mike was saying, and what's good about it is like it invigorates a whole new audience to come into and like something that we grew up liking. But the problem with that is, from the very first part, the audience that they were supposed to captivate were the ones that were the story that they were already trying to tell, which they failed completely at. Like, the original story, the Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, the Skywalker saga, like, it was a complete failure. And all it's been since the Rey saga is this whole like, well, we're going to make it better. Watch, we're going to make it better, but we're going to do it dancing on the corpse of whatever it is you all loved first. Like, I feel like it's just a day late and a buck short with this. Is it cool? Yes. Invigorate a whole new audience. Get all the children involved, but don't let them down like you let us down. Like, don't let the kids down.
I think to connect to what you said, Chris, and some of the Liz has put in the comments, is where you're talking about bridging that show
that
to
gap.
a movie. Yeah, that scene where the kid's holding the broom would have been the perfect spot.
Yeah,
to
perfect.
Put that in the original trilogy.
Because that wasn't even touched upon in the other films, which, I mean, I thought that was like a missed opportunity, especially with this one. The kids really charming in the show. I loved every one of them. I thought they were really, really good. My favorite standout character was the girl with the Cyclops eyes. I thought she played having whatever it was that a cyborg or like a person with enhancements had to deal with at a young age. I think that was incredible. Kind of allows the opportunity for people with like, I guess, like, people with like disabilities at a young age to kind of relate to someone in that nature. And it wasn't really something that hindered her from being a child or going on an adventure. It was just things you had to cater to in certain situations, which was like, I think episode 5, when her battery goes out or something like that, like those kind of things, they were really, really cool. Everybody else just played a really fun role.
No, I really like the characterization of each individual kid in this show.
Yeah.
They all started off as stereotypes, 100%. You had Fern. She was a tough bully chick. She was smarter and stronger than everybody else. We had, Wynn, who was, in the eyes in the sky. Everybody was a Jedi. He had this fantastical temple idea. We had, was it Neil, our little elephant alien guy?
The little
Yeah.
shit, the little fat kid.
It was so soft and so kind and just the best damn friend.
And he's got the Riz, dude. He's got the Riz.
That kid. Those characters, as you see them progress through the story, their arcs made sense. And that's what I really liked about it. That, yes, we were lacking, and it's something that Brian and I talked about before, that it was lacking that action drive that we get in every other Star Wars property, that there's a fight every 3 minutes, so we expect that. But here we had slow and steady character growth that made sense.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you. You guys are spewing way too much positivity for me right now. I'm gonna just inject a little bit of negativity.
What are you talking about, dude? Fucking Chris basically shat all over this.
No, he actually. I thought he was gonna like shit on it way.
I just said it in a really nice way, Trish.
Yeah. Honestly,
okay, fair enough,
honestly,
because it's a kids show. It's a kids show. Like, it's just for kids.
The show is exactly that. It's a kids show, right? So So when I first came on here and I talked about the show, I said, it was cool. That was like the first couple episodes.
Yeah, I can. Yeah.
The problem is that it doesn't go anywhere after that. Yeah, and so like if it's not directed towards you, you're not gonna ever grow into it. Let me ask you guys a question: who is your favorite character in this show?
The chick with the Cyclops eyes.
And Mike?
My favorite was SM-33.
SM-33.
Yeah, the robot.
So you have the Cyclops chick, you have the freaking droid, right?
Mm-hmm.
My favorite is gonna be what's the pirate dude? What's his name?
Jod. Yeah.
Jod. Those kids, they didn't do it for me, bro, at all. There was not one kid. There was not one kid. So if you watch the Goonies, right? And this is when I said, Mike, this should have been like a 2-hour movie. If this was a movie, instead of each week you're sitting there waiting for something to happen and nothing happens, then it's gonna get a little bit boring for me. If this was a 2-hour movie, they would have knocked it out the park. One shot.
That's a good point.
Like
even less than 2 hours, man.
Anything,
just some kind of
where I'm not waiting each week for it. It would have been fine for me. The fact that I just could not. When you watch the Goonies, right? Each kid grabbed you. Every last one of them. Yeah. Every last one of them has a saying, a scene, something that you remember them by.
There was each individual character development in each of them.
Yeah. In this show, I didn't get any of that, dude. Yeah. There was none of that.
And I think this is what Brian wanted me on here, because he knew I was going to fight with him on it. But this is my counterpoint to it. And it's something once again I talked to Brian about, and I said it earlier, guys. My hot take: the Star Wars we have now is the Star Wars that we deserve.
All right. So, and I'm gonna call. You said that earlier, and I let you cook. I call bullshit. Do you think we got this show? Do you think the Acolyte had anything to do with the reception of this show? Because this show is not being watched at all, by the way. It's getting worse viewers than any other show ever, including Acolyte.
100%. It's not even Acolyte what caused a problem. Everybody's hate for Kathleen Kennedy and the current people running Star Wars is what's causing this problem. Everybody bitched and moaned and hated on these people, so now anything they do is going to fail. So how are they going to release a 2-hour skeleton crew film in theater and have that bitch bomb? Have it bomb horribly. At least here, it's a show on Disney Plus. They can write off the loss if they have to write off the loss, and hopefully kids walking down the line.
That's funny. If there was a truffle shuffle scene in this, would it have made it better?
1,000%. 1,000%. See,
well, you know what?
There's something.
Going off of what Brian said, one of the things that caught me and got me away from liking this show was that the only thing that people would do when I would ask them what they thought of the show is that it reminded them of the Goonies. Other than that, there's no other description of them telling me what they like about the show, other than it reminds me of the Goonies. That's the only thing I hear from everybody. So like itself by itself on its own standings does not have the merit to be individualized. It's only good because it reminds people of something that they loved a long time ago. Like to me, that meant something. To me, it was like I got to episode 5 and I was giving it a chance. You can ask Brian. I get to episode 5 and every day I was like, hey, that wasn't too bad. Like that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. The thing that kind of pushed me over the edge that I thought it was a little bit too much and not good was how the ship had like an external skin and they
like
hit
that
like a
part.
red button. I thought it was weird.
Oh,
it didn't make
yeah.
sense to me.
I like that part. I like
didn't
that
make
part. That was
sense.
cool.
It didn't. It
That was
just didn't make
it's
sense.
a pirate ship. It's a pirate ship. So if they get into some trouble and someone's looking for that specific ship, they hit the button, and now it's a different fucking ship. That's why they had
like, so is that
that was
it?
cool.
It's only like a one time to shine kind of thing.
And even
That
in
was
Star Wars lore, we have one of the most famous ships in the world had a whole other compartment to it before they ejected it in the Solo movie. But the Millennium Falcon didn't look the way it looks now.
Yeah, I know that. I know it has, but that's explained in a really good example of that is Thor and Rocket Raccoon. When they're leaving the fucking the ship in Guardians or an Infinity War, and he's like, "Cool, you idiots, go find Thanos. We're gonna go to Nidavellir or whatever."
Yeah,
like that's exactly the way I remember that. I remember it had the cockpit or whatever. It didn't have that weird like cutout. It was just a solid shape. But this thing literally like just shed its skin like a snake.
I thought it was cool.
I mean, the idea is interesting. I just don't know if it applied the right way when I was watching it. I just couldn't fathom it. I couldn't fathom it. And
I will
from
give
there,
the
I
show-
was
target
kinda
audience,
like,
dude.
huh?
He's
Maybe
definitely
you're not the target audience.
None of us are really the target audience, but
Yeah.
it's gonna grasp it's gonna grasp somebody. But I do have a question. So I will disagree with you, Chris. You said that you don't see what like the bigger picture is here, where this kind of leads into. And I will give the show a little bit of credit. Yo, dude, we just found a planet that has like
Infinite amount of money.
A shitload of Republic credits, bro.
Yeah,
Everyone in the gap,
with all
dude,
that.
a shit ton of people are going to be looking for this shit.
Well, I mean,
that is a story.
Apparently, when they because I'm not really sure, like I didn't really find out or get the time frame, but this could be the finance, huh?
This is the Ahsoka timeline.
So it's during the Mando, it's during Ahsoka, it's in between after Palpatine and all that stuff, right?
This is going to correlate with the Mando movie, 1000%.
So this could be the finance that they use to start the First Republic, or what is it? The New Order,
the First Order,
the New Order,
whatever.
Yeah, the First Order. This is literally like 100% them getting the finance to do all of that shit. Like I can see that. I understand that completely. I really, really do. But like episode 6, episode 7, I don't feel it. Like I don't feel connected to the characters. I don't feel like they're getting any growth. I do like, but you know what? Like 100%. This is 100% a kids show, 100%, because it's just all a bunch of weird little like adventure shit that's going on. And like you said, there's no like drawn out action sequences. There's no fight scene, laser damage, because that's like Star Wars. That's like adult guy Star Wars. It's what we want. It's the first 3 movies when Anakin and fucking Obi are fighting and fucking Mustafar and all that shit. It's what we wanted. But like this is, I told you, Brian, I told you that for the season finale, the best choice that I believed that they needed a cameo from was Ahmed Best. I think Ahmed Best as his Jedi persona, not Jar Jar Binks, would have been a really great cameo. And they were there. If you look online, they were going to try and put a Jedi cameo in it, but it was a female. And it was like a random, but she's from something.
I would have laughed if the supervisor ended up being Jar Jar. I would have.
That was we were talking about this last time, and I had said if Ahmed Best would have came out to save these children, that would have been great, because Ahmed Best was in charge of the show Padawans, which was based on bringing kids in for adventure, real children to Star Wars, the adventure park, and put them on a television show that was like one of those, like, you know, Brian was the one that remembered. What was the name of that show that we were talking about? The adventure one that you guys were like, we drink and make bets on them. The Temple of
the Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Legends of the Hidden Temple. It was based on that with Star Wars, and I thought because that's what made him saving Grogu such a badass thing, is because he was the teacher for children in that generation. Like but in real life, kids that love Star Wars. So if he would have came out and saved these 4 kids, I thought it would have been dope. But we didn't.
I honestly, you had an opportunity to not even have to go that far. You had a Jedi-esque person that we really didn't get a resolution to how the fuck he
Jed or Job.
We understood that he was taken in by a Jedi during Order 66, but that's all. That's all we got. Like, if you would have given me a little bit more, or found out that he was a kid that escaped Order 66, I think that would have satisfied me to like the ending a little bit more. But
A little bit more.
it was a little bit of a letdown with that.
Was he force sensitive at all? Or anything like
He's
that?
forced.
He does, even from the beginning of the show when he's introduced, he's already showing that he can do some shit. Even one of the little kids is like, "Oh, he's a Jedi." That's why he kind of like tricks him, right? Tricks the little kid, but he does. He's like a what's that guy's name? Dash. It's like a pirate with the heart of gold, or like the smugglers in the video games, like the Jedis that turn into smugglers.
Yeah, Dash Rendar.
Dash Rendar.
The Outrider is his ship. Why
Yeah,
I
like
remember this, I don't know, but I remember.
Fun fact.
But yeah, that was my biggest thing. Is it's like, I get that it's a kid's show, I get what they were doing, but I just feel like it did not have enough weight in its value to lift into the next step.
That's where I'm going to fight with you guys and say you all are making a mistake, because it's.
I don't know, Mike. You're gonna have to tell a lot of people because they ain't watching it either, man.
He's like Cat.
To the general audience that are our age, like, oh, it's Goonies, it's Goonies. But to my son, who doesn't know what the hell the Goonies are,
yeah, of course.
Skeleton Crew, he's amazed and loves it.
Yeah.
You know, my nephew who's 10 years old, the same thing. It's amazing. This is great. This is so cool, because there is nothing to compare it to. This is their adventure.
Yeah.
This is their
And for that, Mike, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate it for that aspect. But as someone that, again, if you would have just gave it to me as a 2-hour Disney Plus movie, it doesn't have to be in the theaters. If you just released a special, a 2-hour special for that, I would have been fine. But being that I'm not the target audience, and I wanted to get into it, and I gotta wait every week, and every week is kind of more of a chore to watch it just so I can talk about it. It was a little bit much.
Well, even with
Just
that,
me
it's like, even for me,
and
like,
I tried, Mike.
I'm not even
I
saying,
tried. As soon as I saw fucking Urkel in this shit, I wanted to shit all over this fucking show, bro. But I gave it a shot, bro.
Jaleel
he's
White
cool,
didn't
man.
do
He's
that,
cool.
man.
He's got a job again. he had an acting gig again, man. But 100%, Brian, I don't know if you'd agree with me on this, but like, I'm not saying it's a bad show. I'm just not saying it didn't have enough to carry it to be a good show.
Not 8 episodes, bro.
Yeah, it just like, I went in, I got 5 episodes deep, and I didn't find myself waiting for the next episode to come out. I just found myself being like, oh, well, I got time. I can watch it later, and then I'll catch up before the show. And then it'd get to be like, fuck, it's Sunday. I didn't watch the episode. Fuck it. I'm going to watch someone's highlight video and just see what they said. I can guess the rest. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, like, I mean, I'm happy you guys are here now, because for the couple of weeks, like, I didn't get anybody on the show with me, except I think Triggs jumped on with me kind of late in one of them, and we got to talk a little bit of stuff, but Triggs not even watching the show. Triggs ain't even fucking about this show. He's just like, the fuck Ray Skywalker or whatever the fuck, dude. He's not even in it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. She's a fucking poser, dude.
Yeah, she's a poser.
About the show, that bounty hunter that turned in Jod and the kids, that's the actual voice actress from Merida from Brave.
No
from
shit.
what?
Yeah, from Brave, Merida.
Merida. You know, the Disney movie?
Yeah, that actor, she's the actual voice actress for Merida. That's what she.
So does that mean she's like a part of like Star Wars now or something?
Was that character? But yeah.
Yeah, maybe she's gonna be like more solid, because that's what they usually do. They bring in someone that's like solid, like a real person with some cred, because they're gonna bring them back in some way, right?
Yeah. I like Elizabeth's fun fact that she gave us, that Urkel has his own line of weed and is the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog, and that's correct. He
that guy's a dickhead. I saw some interviews with him. That guy's a piece of shit, bro.
Is he a jerk?
Yeah, he's a jerk. Yeah.
He's a dickhead.
Jaleel, right? Jaleel White or some shit.
Jaleel
Yeah,
White.
Jaleel White.
Is he real
dick.
full of himself or what?
Yeah, they were supposed to have like this a reunion, and he kind of shit on it, like the other, like, yes, of course. So he has his own weed line, he's got his own work that he's doing. But what are the other people in from the show doing? They were about to do a reunion, like how they did like the Fuller House shit on Netflix.
Yeah.
They were gonna do that.
I know one guy like is like now into trannies or something like that, or like
Eddie.
Yeah.
They were gonna
Who's
do
that?
like a Fuller House type of deal, and Jaleel White said, "No, I'm not doing it, because it should just be like a story about me and my experience with the show." Like, what the fuck? Like, no,
But just about him.
Like, yo, you're Urkel, bro. Like, get it. You were the show, but we're not gonna
remember.
watch the fucking show.
I remember there was something about his shit when we were growing up, which was like he was supposed to be like this stupid side character, but the moment that motherfucker came on, like everyone loved him.
So I watched it's called the Dark Side of the 90s. Or the Dark Side of the 90s, or something like that. And there was an episode on Family Matters, and he was only on for one episode.
One episode.
But
everyone was fucking nuts.
And then that turned into his stardom, bro. Which is wild.
Which, I mean, shout out to him. But there's this song, and I have to give it a shout out. It's called Lost Souls. That's the name of the band. And it's called Childhood Died. And this song, if you guys are Star Wars fans, need to listen to it. Because the literal fucking chorus of the song says, what does it say? It's how does a
Good
Jedi
stuff.
die from being tired? And he's talking about the main line is my childhood died the day Luke Skywalker died of being tired. And I was like, fuck, dude. And then they made another good point in the song, which was, how the fuck does it make sense that Leia ran past Chewie and consulted Rey after Han Solo died? And this isn't a metal song, dude, and it's a fucking good metal song.
This is what you're looking for in your metal songs?
This is exactly what I do on my free time, dude. Exactly what I do.
I mean, one of the metal songs that I like turns into like a funk song, like later on. So I mean,
but that makes so much sense. Is like when Star Wars came back and they decided to use all of the characters we grew up with to like raise up all of these news characters in such a weird way. They literally just like they shit on the nostalgia and the shit that we grew up with. And I think that's why it's so hard to get this shit moving again. Like how many, like, I'll ask you straight up, like how many of you are excited to see Obi-Wan return in Ahsoka season 2 with Hayden Christensen? Like after watching Obi-Wan, the series,
honestly, and this is what I wanted to say before. I will take the heat off of Mike, and I'll play the villain here. I'll come out with a hot take. I think Acolyte shouldn't get as shitted on as people say. Like the reason why no one's watching this show is not because of the Acolyte. It's because of Obi-Wan. It's because of everything else that came before that. It's not because of the Acolyte. Maybe because that was the last thing that we saw and we probably didn't like it. But this is Acolyte was. It had some bad moments, don't get me wrong. But it wasn't the fact where it's like it should be the reason why this show isn't being watched, because no one's watching this fucking show. And it's not because of the fucking Acolyte. It's because of everything. Fair. It's because of everything Star Wars has done over the past like 5, 6, 7, 8 years, which has led us to this point, bro. That's the reason why.
Once again, it goes back to me saying that we have the Star Wars we have because it's the Star Wars we deserve.
Fair. What do you mean by that, Mike? I need you to like elaborate a little bit more.
We have bitched and moaned that franchise into a hole that it cannot climb out of. They will have to glass earth and destroy everything and start brand spanking new and abandon all of us fans.
It's too much money. It's too much money involved here, Mike. That's not an option.
Exactly.
That should have been the first thing they did when they did the Force Awakens.
That's why we have something like Skeleton Crew, which is meant for kids that haven't seen everything else.
Okay, we need something that's going to move the needle just a little bit. Now, I get what you're saying because I agree with you. I think that this was something that kind of neutered the Rabbit fan base where they can't talk shit about it. I will give you that. But at some point, we're going to need something that's going to move the needle a little bit. And this wasn't it.
Well, I'll tell you right now. I mean, I understand something like Star Wars Skeleton Crew could do something good for this series. But The Mandalorian already did that with a previous set of assets that are already been running. Like Dave Filoni has the template to be successful. Like everything that Dave Filoni has done with The Mandalorian has been fantastic. The only thing that we got negative in The Mandalorian this past like couple of years was season 3 was kind of boring. But overall has been taken in completely as a success. Over even Boba Fett being a fucking like an honorary character, not doing so hot compared to The Mandalorian. Like The Mandalorian did it, like it, and then it catered into bringing Ahsoka back. Like that was amazing when they brought Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian show. Like, and even giving, respect to the Clone Wars, giving respect to the Rebels show. Like, it did fantastic. And now this Skeleton Crew is coming out only to say, oh, dude, in season 2, this should lead up into the Mandalorian movie. Like, they're still needing something that's connected to the original assets for this thing to be successful in some kind of way. Or at least
they can't
to get
run.
people
They can't
excited.
run forever. Yeah, they can't run forever. Basically, they can't run forever. They're gonna have to address this. And Skeleton Crew is cute, it's fun, but it's not. It's not it. Like, they're gonna need to do something.
You see,
Like, and like I said,
we're putting so much weight on Skeleton Crew when it's not the show that's meant to do that. We're gonna get Mando moving, and Mando's gonna. It's all in or nothing on Mando. Either it's gonna be the best damn thing we've ever seen, or this is really gonna suck. And one of those two outcomes is going to happen. And I am hopeful that we get maybe another Cad Bane come in, something that's really off center, but cool to see. And Mando does the
dude. If I don't get Cal Kestis, I'm fuck Mando.
So
I think that's the biggest thing.
So that kind of leads into what I have a question for all three of you guys, because we're this doesn't have anything to do with the show. Do we still have faith in Dave Filoni?
Fuck yeah, I have faith in Filoni. I mean,
honestly, I do only if he's partnered with Jon Favreau.
Okay, Mike, why? You were very emphatic about that. Why?
So
I think he needs Jon Favreau.
Yeah, Filoni hasn't failed me from the animations to Clone Wars up to now. That there have been bad episodes every once in a while, but he has driven those shows to the point to where emotionally they have kicked my ass by the end of those series. Hell, we're about to rewatch Star Wars Rebels, so my wife can actually watch it.
We're gonna have a good time. Gonna have a good time.
Yeah,
bring tissues, dude.
Yeah, there's
be prepared.
His ability to give me the ending I need from a show. So I have no fear. He'll stick this landing. It might not be the landing everybody likes because they all want fucking Darth Vader to come and jerk off Palpatine again or something.
I will pay for that.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't sound good. We got a kids show. When are we gonna get the adult show?
I'll pay double.
When do we get the fucking Star Wars donkey show, dude?
And then Mace Windu's cameo, so Chris can get what he wants, and Jar Jar's assist.
Still can't kill it, dude. Fucking Amethyst, the Amethyst Lord himself, dude.
I don't know, man. As far as I'm concerned, Dave Filoni's starting to get into that realm where he's gonna have to show me, bro. Because you can't just keep living off of that Rebels and that Clone Wars shit, bro. That was mad long ago.
Yeah, it's true.
And the last thing you came out with was the Ahsoka show, and that was kind of whack. That was kind of whack, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of whack. So you're starting to fall in that territory where you have to show me.
Mike, you have to agree that when Ahsoka, when what's her face? I can't even remember her name.
Mike is tired of our shit already, bro.
Yeah, you have to. You have to admit,
you're so fucking stupid, bro.
Yeah, you have to admit when Ren sees Ezra for the first time, and they oh hey, nice to see you again, and then cut or whatever. Yeah, oh peace, what's up, girl? Nice to see you, girl. You look good or whatever. And then it cuts, and then they're just driving in a car together, chilling out with some homeless, I don't know, fucking aliens or whatever. You have to admit that was the shittiest reunion for two characters that had been through the cut, bitch. The cut. They went through it, dude. This dude went through hyperspace with a broken front windshield, dude, in a whale, and you're gonna be like, nah, dude, he's good. It's good to see you, boo. Hey, good looking, man. Good looking. No, dude, no, that was the shittiest reunion ever. And then Ezra just sucked. He just sucked. He just turned into the weirdest dude, man.
I'm gonna ask you to find out who directed that episode. And tell me
fuck. That's an issue. That's another issue. Why are there so many directors on all of these different fucking shows, bro?
That's a Kathleen Kennedy problem. She has written in the entertainment contracts for most of these Star Wars shows, these multi-option episodes. So you get these guest directors like Bryce Dallas Howard has done a few of them, that kind of a thing.
She's my favorite, by the way.
Oh, 100%.
Which one?
She did one of my favorite episodes
Bryce
where
Dallas
Howard. Travel in the Star Wars universe.
Oh, Howard,
people. Love it. But that's that.
Well, her episode was the best episode in the Boba Fett. No, Ahsoka. Was that the Ahsoka series? What was the one that she did that just whoa, dude?
She did Mando.
It was Mando. It was the one in Mando. Mando season 3, I think, was the best episode of
it was she came in and she just boom, she fucking hit it. She knows exactly what the audience wants. And that's the thing. Like, it's like, Brian, you make a fucking great point when it comes to Dave Filoni. Like, yes, Dave Filoni is now one of the top people, but it seems like now that he's at the top, he's having to course towards what Kathleen Kennedy's wanting. And Jon Favreau, that's why he's been kind of like away from the scene a lot, is because I think him and Kathleen Kennedy bump heads on what they want to see in Star Wars. So she's going to be like, all right, cool, John, be gone. Dave, what you got? You know what I mean? And Jon Favreau's like, all right, fine, fuck you, dude. I'm out, dude. I'll do something else. I make Marvel movies, bitch. Like, I'm a Marvel star too.
I've done 2 franchises.
I'm in the cut of it, dude.
You got no franchises.
Yeah. You have an Obi-Wan with a kid under his jacket. Fucker. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean?
I got
like,
20
on, man. Like,
you got no Kookaroos.
No Obi-Wan. I just feel like Dave,
everyone likes chicken.
Yeah. I feel like Dave Filoni's kind of like, he's just doing fine. Like he's walking that thin line, dude. He's walking that thin line because he wants to please the Overlord Kennedy, but he wants to still keep doing badass shit that he knows that people want to see. Like, that's what I 100% think it is. And I don't think he has nuts, bro. Like, I don't think he has the dick and balls to really pull this shit.
I don't know about that. He's just he's just really quickly falling into the realm where, all right, bro, like, you're not gonna like if everyone wants to suck his dick for Clone Wars and Rebels, that's fine, that's cool. But for me, you're gonna have to start showing me something more.
Yeah, that's also why I said what I said. As far as live action goes, when it's him and Jon Favreau together, it's very much the same way that Kevin Feige is with the Russo brothers. Those guys know how to make magic together. And I think as a team together doing a live action project like Mando, because Mando was helmed by the both of them at the beginning. That was the 2 of them. And Mando season 1 was fucking beautiful.
Well, that was their proving ground. They had to come back and prove that they could do it.
Yeah, and they went
knocked it out of
stuck the landing. They stuck the landing. They kept to the lore. They expanded on previous stories. They gave us new lore points. They gave us Yeah, they gave us
fucking machete.
So they gave us so much that it very much like what Jon Favreau, and the Russo brothers have over at Marvel. Like, how do you get bigger than that? How do you just keep taking it to that next level? And
look, I can tell you,
and very much like we're like, you guys are saying about Dave Filoni is like, how does he top his next best? And like, I kind of get that. Like Ahsoka was mid. I can't say it wasn't. There was good parts of Ahsoka, but there were not a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
There was, but like overall, the show wasn't bad. The show wasn't great.
Shit, I watched it. Fuck, I'll watch it again too. I don't give a fuck.
I will never be watching it.
I watched that before I watched the Alkalite show. I'd watch Ahsoka before I watch Alkalite.
I'd watch Ahsoka before I watch Secret Invasion.
I honestly think Brian waited for me to heal enough to come in and fucking fist fight with you guys today. That's what it was. He's
like,
dragged out battle, dude.
Let me see how you really feel, Cut.
Playing this shit all day.
Brian watching your fucking stories and feeds waiting for you to heal like Lord Plagueis, dude. Just Lord Plagueis in your comment section, like, when you coming back, Mike? Just hanging out in the cave and shit.
How's that GoFundMe page going, bro?
Get it, baby.
Afterlife does not deserve the hate it's getting. It doesn't.
I don't think it's bad.
Well, it don't deserve love neither, baby.
Skeleton Crew. Like,
wait, no, it's not getting anything because no one's watching it. That's the problem. Yeah. No one's watching. It's not getting any hate. Anyone that watches it kind of likes it. There's no one that's out there saying that it sucks.
That it sucks.
It's just that no one's watching it.
Yeah. And that's literally what I think is the same
Kennedy problem. That's 100% what it is. It's a Kathleen Kennedy issue. If her name wasn't attached to that shit, everybody else would have watched it.
Probably.
But her name's connected to everything. She's the fucking George Lucas of Star Wars right now.
And that's why we have the Star Wars we have, because we got what we deserved. Everybody bitched.
I didn't deserve that, Mike. I was like, I didn't deserve that. I love this shit. I spent money on this. I didn't deserve that hate. I didn't deserve that hate. Jeez, dude.
But it's the negativity we put out there, man. We have all bitched and moaned about this I mean, every time I come on here with you guys, I think I'm the only asshole defending half these shows.
That's why I told you, Mike.
I don't know.
The,
I don't know.
That's not
Star
true.
Wars is
That's
lucky
not
that
true.
I defend a lot of shit
again,
on
man,
here, yo.
because you get to show love to them that nobody else does, man.
Brian, you play the
Telling
villain
you,
on a
dude.
lot of things.
I'm telling you, man.
I do. I'm not gonna. I can't argue that. But I also do come in here, and sometimes I am the only one that tries to give a show a chance, though.
Yeah, Alkalite. Brian,
And I don't think Alkalite is that
dude.
bad. Alkalite is not that bad, bro. It does not
I
deserve
don't think
all
it's-
the ridicule that it got, yo.
Look, I don't think because the thing is the Alkalite sits on a time frame where on social media, a lot of the people who hated Star Wars were on the incline. They were on the higher mark of the algorithm. They were the ones getting more views, more things, but it's because of the factor that the momentum that Star Wars was creating for itself was almost all negative. So it was easy for those guys to shit on something like the Alkalite. Did I think it deserved it? No. I think it deserved the opportunity to finish, and then we judge it from the end. But the thing is what I didn't like about the Alkalite was the chick, I forgot her name, that ran, what is it, Kathleen? No, not Kathleen Kennedy, the other girl. Mike, do you remember what's her name? The one who wrote the Alkalite?
The showrunner? Oh, the showrunner.
Yeah,
I forgot her name.
I can't remember her name. So
Yeah, I can't remember her
Even
name
better,
either.
even better that you guys forgot it. Because if you forgot it and liked it, I forgot it and I hated this stupid bitch. Like the only reason why she chose this time frame 100 years before everything was because she wanted to introduce her own lore and mythos into the already existing story. That's all that she wanted to do. And it's, for me, it's like a cheap trick. She put herself before everything so that she can rewrite history and then be like, you see, guys, it was there all along.
What
like,
did she
it's the only
rewrite? She
thing.
didn't rewrite anything. She just gave people to be force sensitive. That's it.
And
She didn't rewrite
She
anything.
didn't rewrite anything at all. Everything she used was expanded lore. Everything from the fucking lightsaber whip to the tracker. Everything was shit that exists.
No.
She
But
just-
what I'm talking about is the idea of what made Anakin such a special character was the virgin birth character, and we do know this because George Lucas pulled ideals from past history religions. He did a virgin birth to someone that was supposed to be the Jesus of that universe.
So my argument on this one is, why was this the problem that everybody had? But when Filoni did this in Clone Wars and Rebels with the Witches of Dathomir, why wasn't anybody upset about it then?
Because no one gave a shit about that at that time. They care now because it's in live action and Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau are there.
Decided that Kathleen Kennedy and her vagina are a problem.
But no. But during that time in history, people only looked at it as a kid's show, and they didn't think it was canon nor that it connected to the universe. It has only been connected by the chance that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have brought them to live action. Other than that, it's just legacy. It's just legends.
We have talked about this with the amount of crap I have read over the years. Holy shit. All this lore was canon already. And
yes, 100%.
We decided we weren't going to use it, and then decided, we better start using it because we had no other ideas. So this is nothing new. All this is lore. Other births like Anakin existed. Anakin was just the end all be all. He was just the awesome one.
Yeah.
Like if you want to shit on the writing, if you want to shit on the directing, I get that. But some of these angles that people are picking at when it comes to that show specifically, I'm just never gonna understand. And it's just like, and it's not just you, Chris. I think people just were upset over certain aspects of it and wanted to harp on it, and everyone just banded together against
Space Lesbos.
Okay, so over those ideals that you're saying that were the things that were the hatred part, being that I agree that during that time in cinema and all that stuff, YouTube and influencers that hated on it were the ones that were giving reasons to hate and were making it easy for people who are already falling off of Star Wars to do it. I'm not talking about that stuff. Like I understand the lesbians and the witches and all this stuff.
The people that are already falling off, there's nothing you can do with those people.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. They're already checked out. Yeah, and those are the same people that are not watching the Skeleton Crew, that aren't giving a shit about it and all this stuff because of how this company's handled themselves.
A great example of this is this week. I got an argument with an old acquaintance. I put up my quick review of Skeleton Crew on my social media, and he came back and said, I heard it sucked because that one main girl is a bitch. And I was
What
like,
the fuck
what
does that got to do with
girl?
anything?
He's like, yeah, that Fern girl's a bitch. She's just mean to everybody. And I was like, man, if Fern was Fred or the main guy from the Goonies, she'd be every stereotypical bully character that ends up being a good guy at the end. She's just an archetype. But since she's female, to you, she's a bitch. So you're going to hate the show and not watch it. And that's what's happening.
Which one's Fern? Are you talking the Skeleton Crew?
Yeah.
Okay, the little girl, the main one?
Yeah, the main girl.
Yeah, she did good. I don't think she was all that. I mean, she was fun. She was confident. She was just kind of like a not a bully, but I think she did all right.
Yeah. I think people are angry and upset, and we have the stars we have because everybody stayed that way, and we're just going to be eating shit for a while. And that's where I'm going to stay on that topic, so I don't have a heart attack in a few damn minutes. So
yeah.
So I'm starting to feel it. I'm getting overwhelmed, and you know what? That's not cool.
I got a brown bag. Ventilating and shit.
I personally think it's time for Trigger to be under the gun and have him talk about this NVIDIA thing that he wants to discuss because he hasn't said shit, and I need to hear some other type of geek news at this point.
Oh yeah, true
right,
that.
Yeah, I've just been like,
well,
hey guys.
Well, Triggs, like, what? And then he flips his fucking phone and shit. Triggs, I gotta ask,
and what, dude?
Because you said that you wanted to talk about two things, but which one is like the one that really gets you? Because the Nintendo Switch 2 got released, also talked about and all that stuff, and then we got the NVIDIA 8060 or what the fuck? It's super late.
The new 50 series just was just announced pretty much around the same time as the Switch 2. The 50 series being the next generation of GPUs coming out for PC gamers, so people like myself, yourself, included, Chris, and Brian, and probably even you, Mr. Betancourt. Like these are like the new hotness, like when it comes out to like PC gamers. And I've been hearing a lot, like nothing but great things, like when it comes to like these new GPUs, especially with the way that like Nvidia is handling like their their launch and release right now. Plus like the Switch 2 like was also just announced.
Yep.
And
I have to give credit to Nvidia because they always launch products really well. I mean, every time they launch something, it's handled with finesse. The marketing is great, and it's always with some beautiful video game to showcase its work with. So I'm excited to see what Nvidia tags this thing with because it's going to be really damn pretty.
Yeah, I'm genuinely curious what they're going to tie it to. My only thing was, and like, because I have seen people use the card already, the new 5090, and they're playing fucking Cyberpunk with it. Like that's the game that like people are throwing at this card.
That's the new Crisis or what?
Well, Cyberpunk used to break other cards, so I mean I can assume they're trying to test run it and put it through paces. But I would want to.
Yeah, in a sense, yes. Like Cyberpunk kind of is the new Crisis. Like that is just such a demanding game.
Yeah.
Like it is so fucking like demanding on a PC.
With like a Baldur's Gate or the new Dragon Age. I bet you Velgard would be pretty as hell.
Oh yeah.
On this card. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna tell you, even the fucking Warhammer Space Marine 2 was fucking. It was pretty spicy when it came out, man. It was crashing people.
You know what I would not doubt that it actually gets featured with? The new Witcher game that also just got teased.
That would make sense.
Oh, that'd be good.
Because that's gonna be graphic intense. Or you know what? Another shoot 'em up game that would probably do good if they showcase it is that new Starship Troopers game that's coming out.
Okay.
Extraction.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's basically, I mean, a shoot 'em up. You're on a planet holding it from the bugs. The Space Marines, but with the bug invasion, and that's going to be graphic.
So Helldivers.
Helldivers, baby. Helldivers. Yeah, and then of course we have the Nintendo Switch 2. Let me pull up a picture of that. Triggs, what about the Nintendo Switch 2, man?
So underwhelming. What do you think, Trigger?
Dude, we have no specs for it yet. We have no real specs for it yet. We don't know if it's gonna. Yeah, we don't know if it's gonna run native 4K. We don't like. All we have been told is that it will be comparable to the PS4. That's
The
it.
they said that it's going to be comparable to the PS5 Pro, which is exciting. And
Damn,
you're going to
dude.
be.
I heard PS4.
I heard PS5 Pro. That's what it's going to be comparable to.
My negative question here is like, what the hell does the Switch have as a game that I would need that?
Fuck.
Well,
Betancourt was supposed to be positive. God damn it, man! Jesus Christ. God damn.
Well, I told you, Craig was under the gun on this one.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh,
it's
So
basically they're basically gonna try to they're gonna try to make the Nintendo Switch basically a handheld PC. Yeah, basically.
So what you're saying is it can hold a larger door open as a door stopper, right? Dude, fucking shitting on the Switch already. That's because I'm the one that usually shits on the Switch, dude. So you're saying that it's gonna be like a pretty like up to date handheld, fighting with like the Razer handheld, or what is it?
Well,
the Steam Deck
right now it's really gonna have to stand up to the Steam Deck, because as of right now, PC gaming, when it comes to Windows PC gaming or like Windows handheld gaming, is like at a fucking standstill right now, because all of these devices that run Windows natively, the new Windows 11 2H24 update completely fucks with that software and is not allowing these handheld games to be run properly or at all on like the ROG Ally, the Legion Go, like the MSI Byte or whatever. Right now, Steam OS is like the handheld OS to go with.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where it's kind of like, hey man, like, we were first to market, we did it right. I know a lot of people were kind of like, oh man, it like the max resolution is 1280 by 800 and it doesn't like do super well at going 60 frames per second on a lot of AAA games. And a lot of people were like, "Oh man, like it doesn't even run 1080p, trash." And then like they started playing it. And they were like, "Actually, this looks pretty fucking sick, dude."
Are we getting a Monster Hunter game that's really like demanding also?
Monster Hunter Wild. I'm so fucking excited.
And we all know
game.
that Monster Hunter is like almost like on every Switch.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of rumors. There's a lot of rumors that games that are coming out. That one, and also they're developing a new Mario game as well. So those two titles are going to be really big. And I do think to kind of piggyback on what you're saying, Trigger, I think this Switch is going to be extremely aggressive, and I think they're going to try to battle Steam Decks to try to get.
It's about time.
Right now, it would be the time to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say
the time to do it because like literally of what I just said. And Nintendo is such a powerhouse in the handheld gaming market that Valve is honestly just trying to compete with the Switch.
See,
that's really what it is.
Nintendo was the original handheld monster.
They are.
They were the giant. The Game Boy set the standard for everything. Yeah. And for them not to have something handheld now, it feels like we've been robbed of that, that history and that potential. My only fear is, like Elizabeth is doing a great job in the comments.
Yeah, she's putting all the good stuff.
Coming at me with every game that is out, but all that is playable on the Switch. Why do I need a Switch 2 to play that? Come and talk to me if Switch 2 can handle Monster Hunter Wild.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Dude, yeah, if it runs Monster Hunter Wild, man, fuck my PC, dude. Like,
yeah, and I guarantee that's probably going to be one of the stale or the shipping games that's going to come out with the Switch 2.
Well, because Wild. I know, what was the Monster Hunter game? Rise.
Because, and then it did the DLC Rise, and it has Worlds and also.
Sunbreak. Yeah, and because Rise ran very well on the Switch as it is now. And it runs Sunbreak.
See, the only problem I had with Rise and Sunbreak is they weren't as graphically intense as Monster Hunter World.
Monster Hunter World,
but that's just the game itself.
My fear is the Switch 2 won't have the processing power, and we'll get a downplayed version of Wild on the Switch 2.
Look, I'll throw this out there
I
right
wouldn't
now.
bet. I wouldn't bet against that. I wouldn't put money put money on that. Like they're gonna need to do something because again they have a lot of competition that's out there, and they're gonna need to stand out from everything else.
Yeah.
So if the one thing that they can do is make a processor that can handle these type of games, that would be the focus.
So
By chance, are we gonna get a Call of Duty?
No.
Maybe.
Well, here's the thing. When the Nintendo Switch came out, it ran on an already outdated SoC. For the people who don't know what an SoC is, it means system on a chip. And it was already running a dated SoC at the time and still ran relatively well.
Yeah.
Unless like you were playing actual like AAA.
Yeah, like if you're doing
games.
Skyrim or anything like that, it's not gonna
Well,
run.
no, like I mean, because like even The Witcher is on
Switch.
is on the Switch, and so is fucking what is it? Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And they look
Mortal Kombat 11.
fucking atrocious on that fucking system. They look horrible.
I think what you're saying, Triggs, is what worries me about the Switch 2, because even myself with my Switch Lite, all I'm playing is classic Castlevania. I got the anniversary collection as a gift from my wife, and I just play the old platforms that I've seen from, and we don't need to jump those up too hard, graphics intensity. But if the Switch 2 can't deliver something brand new, I mean, aside from Rainbow Road looking really pretty on it, I don't know what would entice me.
Well, I do like that there are I mean some at the time they were exclusive, Nintendo exclusive games, like the Shin Megami games or the Shin Megami Tensei games, so I know like Nocturne came back and that was like a huge thing
I was
for a lot of
playing.
people.
I played that mech game, Damien Mecha or something.
Yeah, Damon X Machina, a
Damon X Machina.
fantastic game. Yeah, there was also like My Time in Portia, and also a fantastic
Kingdom
game.
Hearts.
But then you also had Octopath. Octopath is a pretty fucking game. That is a beautiful game on the Switch. And then when you finally play it on PC, you're like, holy fuck, this looks amazing. Even though it's a 2D, 3D game.
See, and that's my concern, because when you take some of those games and you put them on PC, because my wife is a huge PC gamer, and I'm traditional console, my Xbox One and everything, but she shows me this how vibrant these colors are, how great the graphics are, and I just don't think the Switch 2 will do it.
If the Switch 2 comes out at a price point of let's say $400, would that entice you to get it?
Fuck no, I'm not gonna get that shit. Fuck.
Why not?
It would
Because
depend.
all the games are fucking on mobile apps. Dude,
but with an OLED screen, absolutely.
Exactly.
It's too much.
And a
man.
Steam Deck is gonna run you how much, Triggs?
5.
Right now, a Steam Deck OLED 1 terabyte, which is like the best Steam Deck that you can get right now, is about $650.
So
Yeah,
if I'm getting it to you for 150 less, right, with an OLED, and let's say the specs come out and it can hold some of these games that you guys have in question, I think this is going to be a smash.
Yeah, but you're comparing it to the Steam Deck that has an infinite almost amount of AAA games, and
it's direct. It's going. I have to. It's its direct competitor. So I have to compare it to
the
that.
thing is the Switch only appeals to children games and like adventure adult games. It has a huge misplaced library compared to Steam.
That's where I have
Steam has everything.
It only appeals there because it doesn't have the processing power right now to do those bigger things. If it had the power, and let's say I got a Monster Hunter Wild special edition of this thing with the game included, it looks all fancy. At that price point, I'd jump at it. But if it can't meet those demands of the higher level games, I don't care about another Animal Crossing. They all look the same. I mean, another Pokemon game, cool, I guess, but I'm not excited to catch another.
I mean,
151 out of 7,000 there are.
But even with that, that's still a fever dream because we don't know if Wilds is even coming out for the Switch 2.
Yeah.
Again, the idea of understanding
I'm
the
gonna have
limited
a hard time
library.
thinking that it won't.
Yeah, if I was going to go up to someone that was a basic gamer and knows basics about like just the gaming format, and I say, you want to pay $500 for a Steam Deck, or do you want to pay $400 for a Switch 2? There's an 80% chance he's going to wait and just do the $100 because the Switch 2 or the Switch 1, their library is limited at what comes for like the gaming industry. Even Mike made the comment earlier where he was like, was it going to have any games that needs it to be that strong? Like, cause that's a jab at the library itself. Like the Steam has everything. If you want Warzone, if you want fucking tanks or whatever, if you want fucking Black Wukong, you could play that directly from the Steam because it connects to your PC and it plays everything your PC does. The Switch cannot do that.
Fair, but again, you're gonna be paying 150, 200, maybe even $300 more than you would for the Switch 2.
Yeah, but I'm not doing it for Animal Crossing, like Mike said. I'm doing it for games that I know.
At that point, it's gonna be the price. It's gonna be either 400 for the Switch 2. That again, we don't know the specs, so this is all just speculation. We don't know what the specs are gonna be. So so now at that point, your only negative is that it doesn't have the library. But at $400, as opposed to, let's say you get a really good Steam Deck for $700, you may be like, all right, I might go for the 400 Switch 2.
Yeah, if you're just gonna try to get something going on or whatever.
While we don't know the specs, the comparable machines that it is being compared to with what they run now is a very large library. Very, very large library.
You see, and with that information that Chris is telling us, I think Brian is right. At that price range, I would be enticed to buy it just in the hopes I'd get the library. Yeah. Okay, if this thing can do this, it's going to have to do it eventually. They're going to license something to do it with, so I'll be able to use that image.
And there's going to be something that you're going to want to play. They're going to come out with a new, like Elizabeth said, they'll come out with a new Zelda. They'll come out with a new Mario. They'll come out with something that will entice you to buy it, and you'll be fine. And it's a console that you can get.
A new Kirby and see what happens. Yeah,
you can get a brand new Mario Kart. Good.
I was going to say, I also think that because it's also backwards compatible, you're going to be able to play, Tears of the Kingdom or fucking, Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch 2 and have it run past 30 frames a second. That alone for some gamers is going to be a huge fucking enticement.
That price range for backwards compatibility also, that's another plus. That is another plus.
I mean, dude, you're going to tell me you're not going to want to play Tears of the Kingdom at like 60 frames per second? Come on, man. On an OLED screen?
That's true. No, I mean, I get the idea on the idea of, like you said, like a Zelda, this and that. Like, I mean, that's cool. But like even Mike right now just said that he would buy it in hopes that the library is going to expand. So one thing is getting the machine to hopefully be able to run games at the moment like fairly well. But that's if Nintendo themselves as a company will be willing to shake hands with people they haven't in the past. Because again, like I've told people a million times, I think the Switch would be a fantastic game for Warzone players because you could play that on the go anywhere you want. Anywhere. That's like, if you want people on Warzone, that's where you get them. But they chose not to because they're not in that realm of video game, or they don't have a deal for licensing Activision or whatnot. Like, can you imagine the last time Switch or the Game Boy or whatever had a Call of Duty game on it? Like, what was it, like World at War or whatever? Like, it sucks because it's a game system to be on the go. When the Steam Deck was announced, there were so many people that were excited because they weren't going to need to have a Switch as for a video game on the go movement. They had something that was like, well, fuck, I'll buy something that connects directly to my PC. PlayStation came out with, what was that one that they had?
The Portal.
And the cool thing about the Portal is you can play it anywhere but in your house, right? Or at least something like that. It has to be connected to your like home station or something. I know it had like a gimmick. I just can't remember what it was. But it was chained or something.
I know next to nothing about the Portal. I mean, other than like people are selling Portals on Facebook Marketplace for like $200 right now
because it was unsuccessful. Because it was a gimmick, right? But I don't know. Like I like the Switch. Like I have one. I don't play it as much because I think the library section is kind of boring, and I play Monster Hunter a lot. That's really what I play. That's literally what I use it for. Is just Monster Hunter. But yeah, that's been my biggest concern. I just want them to expand their library a bit more because I think the Switch is so innovative when it came to video games. I thought it was like the next biggest thing.
My only gripe with the Switch 2 right now is a very, 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 very large possible failure point on the Switch device itself, or the new Switch 2 device itself. And
Mhm.
for anybody who was paying attention to the trailer, noticed that on the dock itself, on the dot, like on the screen itself, at the very, very edge of the screen, there's two little fins that pop out. They look like little USB, fins, and that's where your Joy Cons go, right? They're magnetically held on now.
Oh shit.
Dude, I foresee a fucking kid dropping that
It's gonna get
and
broken
just
a lot.
snapping that
Yeah.
little
Fuck, dude.
part, and boom, you're out like a $400 system, five hundred
So
I
you
dollars
saw a
think
lot.
it's like
I
a
saw a lot of
design
people
fault, right?
complaining about that. I saw a lot of people.
Yeah, design fault.
That freaks the shit out of me. I'm like, dude,
Well, even
I'm gonna handle my Switch like a fucking child.
yeah, I was gonna
Just
say like
like,
I see the factor where you're saying like if a kid drops it, but that's like us as adults too. Like we got sticky fingers or whatever. You got a bunch of shit on your desk. Like we'll drop that shit just as much as kids do. And like you
yeah,
said, that's
but
like
at
a
least
$400.
with the original Switch, like there's like a slot that it goes through.
Yeah,
There's
it clicks and all that stuff.
they're like, that's not just a magnetically held on fucking little piece that juts out of a
Yeah, the
fucking,
security.
yeah, there's like, it's just two contact points that it meets. That's it.
Mhm. Damn,
You
that's crazy.
know,
Another thing a lot of people were talking about were like the Joy Cons look like. Well, the speculation is that you're gonna be able to use your Joy Cons like a mouse, and I can see a lot of people breaking their shit that way, and then you'll be out of a
Oh fuck.
$400 system. So I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, granted, there's a lot of things that we don't know about the system yet. Like the people over in Nintendo haven't spoken about the Switch since the trailer. And, obviously they haven't, introduced the system correctly as they would have.
Yeah.
Reason being is because like there was hundreds of like verified leaks about this system, and they were like, well, now we gotta fucking drop it. So god damn it, and did things the way that they've done things. And now they're like, there's so many questions that we have that we don't have answers to, and now we're having conversations just like this with unverified information, as per, like these Joy Cons, or how powerful it is, or what SoC it's going to be running, or what games it's even going to be able to run correctly,
I mean,
and things
what's
like
cool
that.
about the rumor though, right? What I think was cool is like what Brian was just talking about is the mention that there's an idea that there's going to be like some kind of mouse integrated in some kind of way with the system of the Switch, right? Like that's been something you've heard, like a mouse or something in that nature.
And
Okay,
even
so
in the
that-
trailer, they kind of like allude
So
to it.
Into,
so this is going to
allude
be
to it
like
a little bit.
almost like a 1-for-1, like a Raspberry Pi style Steam Deck
Basically,
that has like files and clicks, and it's almost going to be like an OS on the screen where you can actually like move the mouse around and stuff. That's pretty fucking cool.
I don't foresee that being.
Shit,
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
foresee
that's
it
dope,
going
though.
that hard. The reason being is because Nintendo has always stayed family friendly, and their UIs have been like beyond dummy proof. Because like, who do they market to? They market to 5-year-olds. They market to
Good point.
fucking like kids. If you need a fucking 5-year-old to pick this system up and immediately know how to use it, and
That's
all
pretty
of
good.
that is going to be way too much for them,
Yeah.
to like scroll here, click here, understand like this is where your new cursor is, this is where like your new programs are set, blah blah blah. It sounds cool on paper, but in practicality, like when we're shipping these to fucking 5-year-olds,
I think you got these
like
5-year-old Triggs. I think you got these 5-year-olds fucked up, kid.
that
I
might
think
be
you got
so,
these
dude.
5-year-olds fucked up, bro.
That's
I mean, I'm
fucking
not
dope.
calling them. I'm not calling them stupid,
These
but
motherfuckers are good.
But I'm also going to call a 5-year-old a fucking 5-year-old.
Fair.
Yeah, that's fucking funny though. Got these kids tripping, man.
Yeah.
My biggest hope with the Switch 2 and the way it got leaked the way it did is that maybe we're seeing the initial product, kind of like the beta of this, and Nintendo gets to hear this outpouring of concerns and correct the ship if they still have time to do so. Now people are upset.
I would rather them have a magnetic Joy-Con, but with the same contact points as the original Switch, because that's the safe bet. That's the safe bet. If you fuck up and you fuck those little fins up or whatever, those contact points, dude, you are so fucked.
Or you know what? Even better, right? Like let's say let's say it's a magnetic connection, but it still has that little safety trigger that you have to like it clicks in, and it has like a latch, and then you have to hit that trigger to like pop them off or something, like a latch or something. So that way you have that extra security, because I get that. I 100% get that. If it's magnets, fuck that noise.
Yeah, dude, that just scares the shit out of me, man. You know, like I'm not all slippery bippery or anything like that, you know, or neither is Audrey, but at the same time, dude, like, I mean, kids are dumb, bro. They drop shit.
I'm dumb. Shit, you don't have to even tell kids. I'm dumb, dude.
Yeah.
All right, good.
First one to break these damn Joy-Cons, what it's gonna be.
Right, that's gonna be the make or break, the fucking joystick and shit. Mike, I gotta ask, dude. Mike, I gotta ask. Switching gears to another topic, right? Superman. That's all I want to say. Superman. Mike, please engage with us with Superman.
Superman. All right. So the trailer is a good start for a family-friendly version of what we got in Creature Commandos.
Oof.
Creature Commandos is not family-friendly.
In no shape.
Yeah.
So Mike, let me ask you a question. You saw Creature Commandos, right?
Yep, I did. Yeah. Of course I did.
You think the person that created that show, you feel safe with him with fucking Superman?
He did wonderful with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Why the hell wouldn't we let him? Everybody, Zack Snyder had fucking Superman snap a damn neck on film. What the hell else can he do? I mean, aside from straight up,
at least he felt bad about it. Yeah, but he felt bad about it.
There's a difference between snapping a neck, and then there's a difference between fucking a corpse in a cartoon show.
Yeah, remember, you're literally defending a dude that was gonna let Batman fuck Lois Lane and then have Superman take care of their kid. You know what I mean? Like, that's the same fucking dude. Like, fuck Zack Snyder. Fuck that dude.
Hey man, his kid died, dude. Shut up.
No, I'm not gonna hurt him.
Just to kind of say my point is.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm hoping for the fact that there needs to be some competition to Marvel. I hope this guy wins, but if I'm going off of which is supposedly the soft entrance into this new DCEU and it being Creature Commando, which I like, actually. I love that show, by the way.
Raunchy as shit. Good.
I love it, but I just don't know if that's the guy for this.
Yeah. On the topic of Creature Commandos, before we dive into Superman, the fucking ending and who we lost at the end, I thought was bullshit. That one hurts. We shouldn't have lost that character.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty of those type of teams. Is sort of like Suicide Squad. They can all die at any time.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it was executed masterfully for what we got. Chris and Trigger, have you guys watched Creature Commandos?
I know what happens at the end, and I don't have any context as to why that particular character died. I just know that the character did die, and that there was a very, very, very violent repercussion for it.
Yeah.
I got up to Clayface.
Okay. Yeah, you still got
up to the Clayface episode. You see, Chrissy in the comments section kind of understands the concept of the James Gunn film trope. She puts it's just a bunch of dick jokes. Watch
the gun effect.
The gun effect. Again, James Gunn is very, very good at being raunchy with his like writing and jokes and stuff like that. But Brian brings a really good point. Like, this is the dude that's gonna write Superman. Like, and I know like there's a lot of people that just don't like Superman because he's too innocent and perfect. You know what I mean? But you're gonna have this dude write for him.
See, but I want to draw attention to the characters he has as supporting characters for this movie. Yeah. Guy Gardner is a piece of shit.
Yeah. Huge Irish police officer from New York. Got it.
Foul-mouthed. He's a dickhead. He's a chauvinist. He cusses too much. There's a comic where he puts his ass out in space to moon Batman just because Batman can't get into space to hit him. Like he leaves the watchtower to the fucking moon Batman just to do that safely.
Yeah, Guy
Well,
Gardner's
James Gunn is gonna knock it out the park with a character like that. We're talking about
that's
Superman
his
though.
motive.
See,
Yeah.
and I think
That's up his alley, actually.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
that's the outlets. So we'll have. I think Gunn understands Superman enough to give us what we expect of Superman. But all those bullshit things that everybody's complaining about, all the dick jokes and all that jazz, will funnel through Gardner. And I think Hawkgirl will be kind of the foil for it. She'll tell him to shut up or watch his mouth, and because she's the serious.
I think Mr. Terrific will do that.
That's a possibility also. But I think Gardner is our funnel for this. There's a reason he chose that Green Lantern. There's no reason why we shouldn't have gotten John Stewart with a Hawkgirl
or Hal Jordan, man. God.
Yeah.
But that's because Hal Jordan is getting his own serious show. That's because Hal Jordan is getting his own serious show. So he didn't have a Hal Jordan to mess with.
Can I ask you a question, Mike? Do you think that there's too many characters in this trailer or movie?
2-hour film.
Actually, you know what? Let me broaden that same question.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of the trailer?
I think I mentioned this when you guys, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something, you guys were talking, and I was on for like half a second because I was driving
in the comment section.
Yeah, I liked the trailer because it shows hope, and that's what we're lacking in a lot of Superman, and it's what I think we've been lacking since Brandon Rouse tried doing it with his Superman, and we got definitely with Reeves. We got that. I can believe that this Superman will do something to help us. Now, Cavill is amazing. He looks great as Superman, and he was intimidating as shit. But I wasn't hopeful for a damn thing at all from him. I didn't see him do anything as Superman that made me believe that he would save a person that wasn't immediately threatened because he did something by accident. You know, Brandon Routh as a Superman, you know, stopped a plane from landing in a baseball field. He put those people down safely. You know, he stood in the way of a Gatling gun from hitting, you know, basic security guards. You know, Reeves, you know, saved people from falling. I remember one, I don't remember it's the first movie or which movie it is, but Lois throws herself from the fucking Daily Planet, and he blows the wind, and he does all these things to make her fall safely on the ground, but it looked like he didn't do it. And there's this disconnect, I believe, with Superman being this darker, you know, I'm so edgy and I'm a lone alien kind of thing, that we've lost that hope. And the trailer gave me that feeling, you know, campiness with Krypto, you know, Superman coming in and doing that same thing. I think Trigger said it. We get it every movie where he stands in the way of a car or something and he protects somebody. So this one we got him, you know, stopping those tanks from hitting the kid. But we got moments in that trailer where like the child lifted that flag and is calling Superman. And we all know from the comics that he can hear it. Superman can be in space and hear anything. So for that kid to lift the flag and say Superman, it gave me that sense of like they really believe in this character. So it made me hopeful for the movie.
Yeah, that was a take we all did not have. We were all like, "There's a lot going on.
There's a lot
going on.
There's too much. Now. There's too much going on in that trailer.
Yeah, there was a lot of look here.
Well, I mean, just to break it down, right? Just to break it down, let's break down just the aspect of it. One, we have a Superman that has already been established. 2, Lois Lane's already knows that he's already Superman. 3, you have like the first triplets of the Justice Society being established. 4, you have the engineer from the Authority. You have Lex Luthor with a revolver, meaning he probably has a kryptonite bullet. 5, you have Ultraman, who is a character based off of a multiversal crime syndicate. 6, you have Mr. Terrific, who's usually the multiversal dude. 7, you have Krypto, which is alone its own story. 8, you have the robot that takes care of the Fortress of Solitude, which again is another story. Then you have a kaiju. Then you have
somewhere in there you're gonna have to fit a love story.
Yes, of him and Lois Lane, how they got into
somewhere in there. You have to fit a love story during that.
Yeah. And there's a lot.
We are all concerned about this movie having all these moving pieces when every damn issue of Superman is this many moving parts.
I don't know, Mike. I don't know.
Every issue is fucking Brainiac and Luthor and Parasite and Lois's dates and he's late to. and Jimmy Olsen's in trouble, and there's 9,000 things. Why? Because he's Superman. He can do all of it. The guy's unstoppable.
I yes and no, right? And the reason why I say that is because you're looking at, if by chance, if this is Crime Syndicate Ultraman and not like some James Gunn rotation that, oh, it's Ultraman, but it's actually Bizarro, and we're only using Ultraman as like a cool nickname or a nod to Crisis on Two Earths, like, but it's not, it's Bizarro, like, okay, like, because we don't know how James Gunn is going to even introduce these characters, right? But the thing is like, every major cool point that they showed in the comic or in the movie literally almost has its own standalone arc or comic in the story. Like, that's the thing. Like, when the Fortress of Solitude is destroyed, it's Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor's in there. But you have a dude that's equal to, if not more dangerous as Ultraman fighting Superman. And then you have like the Kryptonic Bullet, maybe, right? And then you have again the almost the Justice Society, if not the Justice League, with the characters they're introducing. So it has to be more than what Superman can handle, right? Because those guys are going to be in the film. And then you have a whole like if not, what is it? They have like a nod to the Snyderverse with him going to like a courtroom and being judged by like the people that are saying like but saying that there's hope about him, but there's a whole group of people that are like, nah, well, fuck this dude. He messed up something or whatnot, right? Like, I guess he's still learning. I don't want to be
a nod to the Snyderverse, because honestly, we need to let the Snyderverse die. Fucking thing's gone.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least in that concept, right?
I can say goodbye in Deadpool Wolverine to all the 90s X-Men movies, because fuck it, they're gone.
Yeah.
I think Snyderverse needs to go bye-bye at this point. It's gone. That flick is over. But it's more than not the comic was a Man of Tomorrow, isn't it? The issues that we're covering here?
Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah. And he goes to the courtroom to acknowledge what's happening. That's straight out of the book. Mm-hmm. So I'm not worried. Am I excited for the movie? I mean, I'm not really excited for anything DC because, well, I'm not a DC.
I don't know what to expect yet, man. Yeah, we're still in
this movie. This movie already has my money. Like, I'm gonna sit here and I'll talk shit, but I'm gonna go to the movies and I'm gonna watch the movie. But I just think my preference is I would have liked this first shot that we get to see Superman. It just be Superman.
Yeah,
I wanted to just see him and what I'm looking forward to. Then on the next trailer, you can give me all the other heroes that you got going on and crypto and all that bullshit. That's fine. This first one, there was no dialogue. There was literally like 5 words uttered this entire fucking teaser.
And it's all mopey Superman. All the shots are him just being fucking mopey, dude.
I'm gonna give a hot take, and I mean, maybe it'll be a popular opinion. I think it's gonna be unpopular. But I would have rather had this movie been a live action My Adventures of Superman. That animated series did a wonderful job portraying Superman, learning to be Superman, and doing.
That's this new one, right? That's the new one.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
I heard it's. Yeah, I heard it's.
Yeah, I love that show.
Really good things about.
I've watched both seasons, and man, they masterfully do everything. So like you get a hopeful Superman voiced by Dennis. What's his Quaid? What's the name of it?
Yeah, that's the son, right? The Quaid guy.
Yeah, Jack
Quaid from The Boys.
Yeah, he does an amazing job as the voice. The Lois there is strong, even keeled. Like they have Amanda Waller there, and she's just the same rank bitch she always is. But the villains he fights there are villains that are actual threats to Superman. You got like Parasite. You have of course Luthor and LexCorp doing their thing. There's great nods to Superman mythos that allow you to enjoy Superman doing real Superman things and getting to learn the Clark Kent side of things. I would have loved that series to have been.
I have to intervene because me and Brian had this conversation a couple weeks ago too. That story is good because it gives you a reintroduction to Superman with the idea of him being an alien and being more humanized and learning to be human. His very like first years, I guess you could say, as Superman. But Brian makes a good point as to saying, because this was my argument. They're establishing things in the Gunn universe with this Superman that are slightly different. And I tell people when the stories are different, it does matter. So you look at the Man of Steel, Jonathan Kent dies at the very beginning, right? He dies before he's even Superman. You look at Christopher Reeves' Superman. The dad is alive for a little bit of his Superman life and then dies of a heart attack. And then it's just the mom that's left, right? In this story, Jonathan Kent is still alive. And he's already has Lois in a relationship. And in one of the shots, he's putting on his boots, which is a picture we saw earlier in the year. He looks bummed out, like he doesn't want to go out and help people, while a ship is terrorizing a city in the background, while Lois is like, come on, baby, you could do it or whatever. But he's all mopey and shit. Like, those are three major moments.
That was that post nut fucking
he's
slow
tired,
jog, bro. He was tired, bro. He's putting in some work.
He just got some and he wanted a nap, and then this fucking spaceship out of nowhere.
I even got my cigarette,
man.
He's like, damn, now
about
you're doing the most, bro. I just got finished doing the what?
As our well-known and good friend Conor McGregor said, it's red panties night, baby. Red panties night for Superman. And there's this alien coming cox blocks, dude.
Didn't even get my cigarette.
So in that nature, in that concept of all of that stuff that's going on, do we need a Superman origin story like the way that story does, like the cartoon you said, or does James Gunn just hit it running and go, like, because we already know who Superman is?
I have faith that Gunn can hit the ground running and go. I do. I just, after watching My Adventures of Superman, really enjoyed how they handled Superman and the way he fought the villains he fought, because there were real stakes. It wasn't, this is the problem I have reading the Superman book. At a certain point, the villains don't matter. The damn things they're not going to win. He fist fights Darkseid. I think my favorite animated version of a fight where Superman was just so overpowered was, I think it was a Superman animated series, or maybe JLA. And Darkseid is mouthing off, beating up Superman. Like, the bat can't do anything. He's just a man. Wonder Woman's been beaten, blah, blah, blah. And Superman stands up and knocks the crap out of Darkseid and says, I have a whole other problem that they have. I live in a world of cardboard, and I can never let loose. But a guy like you can take it. So I can cut loose.
So I can give it. Yeah.
Crap out of Darkseid.
Yeah.
And,
I think it's Justice League. I think it's JLU. And yeah, that's when it happens. Because I remember, him just hitting him so hard that all the glass shatters, and he's just like,
shit.
he's just like,
I vaguely remember that. I don't know where I saw it from.
I finally get to hit somebody as hard as I can, and
that was Justice League War.
Enjoy this.
That was Justice League War, the cartoon.
No, it's a different one. This was early, bro.
It's Justice League something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, dude, and I'm gonna enjoy this because I never get to hit people like this.
Yeah, those type of scenes are awesome, but we don't need the dark and gritty. Like I keep saying, the Snyderverse went about it the wrong way.
Yeah,
it gave us that level of Superman, but dark and depressed and gritty, and woe is me. I'm gonna go live on a fucking oil refinery for I don't know how long because my life sucks, but I can fly and I'm pretty. Like I don't get it. Like he's fucking Superman. Like this.
Yeah. Yo, bitch ass up.
Like if Batman,
complaining, motherfucker,
family is dead, he still
don't port the music, bitch.
Yeah. That's funny, dude. Mike. Okay. So I got a question about the Superman trailer. I asked this to Brian. I don't think I got to ask Triggs yet, but he can jump in on it too. What is your take on them introducing the name Ultraman, and what do you think? How do you think they're going to go across handling it?
Fuck. Who the fuck knows, dude?
I don't think that's Ultraman. I think
they already released the Hasbro toys or whatever, and the name is Ultraman.
No, 100%. I believe they use the name, but I don't believe that's the Crime Syndicate's Ultraman. I
don't either. I have a very, very tough time believing that's Earth 3's.
That character alone. I mean, and Triggs knows that character is a piece of shit. He wouldn't be working for Luthor. He killed his. If I remember correctly, in Crisis on Infinite Earths, didn't they mount Luthor's head on the wall?
Yeah, they fucked him up.
Some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that Ultraman not going to fucking work for a Luthor. Are you kidding me? My ass. Like, no, that's not the Ultraman I'm thinking.
Cap.
Let me ask you a question then, Mike. What if you found out that version of Ultraman ended up being Henry Cavill? What would you say to that?
Yeah,
I think that'd be a big ballsy move. Don't think that'll happen, but it'd be a big ballsy. I would believe it'd be Brandon Routh before it'd be Henry Cavill.
But they already used him as the Kingdom Come one in the crossover, and
Well, that world's dead. No, I mean
everything's dead. Everything's
Well,
dead.
fuck it, dude. What another hot take? What if they used him as Tyler Hoechlin? Because he already kind of Ultraman it, in the Arrowverse.
True, very, very true. Yep, and he was a wonderful Superman. That entire series was a great ending. It really was.
Yeah, because the idea is
shout out to them doing Steel well
correctly.
Yeah. Who I was talking to, they were like, "Isn't Shaquille O'Neal Steel?" Like, "Oh, homie."
Oh,
no.
Okay, so the reason why it was.
Let me learn you something there.
Brian knew I was even setting up that question, right? Brian, you knew it was coming, right?
I was just gonna get to it just in case you didn't get to it because I wanted to hear this bullshit. Yeah, I wanted to hear it. Though.
True. Like, so if it's Ultraman and Ultraman is the evil version of Superman, do you think that it would be an interesting take if James Gunn went in that direction to choose Henry Crapple, Henry Crapple, Henry goddamn Crapple,
Crapple beans.
As if it is that way, the crime syndicate Superman, and that give homage to the Snyderverse, but them being the crime syndicate, like them even bringing Gal Gadot as Power Woman, bringing all the characters back, but as their evil versions. Like if they paid homage, because they're all fantastic for their roles, but if they're gonna do some Crisis on Infinity or something,
I don't.
And Ezra's actually crazy.
Gal Gadot being mean enough to be the Superwoman of that Earth. Like I don't.
Yeah, that's understandable. But like
there's
with
no
that
dominatrix fear, like that Superwoman. That
Chris
Wonder
Evans
Woman
literally said he wouldn't come back unless they did something interesting with Cap. And the only thing interesting they ever did with Cap in the comics was they made him a Hydra agent. They made him evil. So like it gives them the opportunity to kind of take the characters they've belovedly grown into popularity and do something completely on its head. Which, I mean, the entire Secret Verse or Secret Wars cast of all the originals coming back, everybody believes they're evil.
Have Cavill be, what the hell is it, Superman 3 with Reeves, where the Atomic Man, the guy that has the sun powers or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Superman 3?
What is it, like Nuclear Man or
Nuclear Man?
Like yeah.
That was crazy, dude. To bring him back as Nuclear Man?
I'd rather him do that shit than be Ultraman. Ultraman for me has to be the most vile piece of shit, and I don't think Cavill can do it.
I mean, but if he could, though,
let me ask that would be the weak. I'm sorry, dude. Like you guys are having way too much fun with this bullshit. Yo, that would be the weakest shit I've ever. If I'm sitting there in a movie theater and I see Henry Cavill anywhere near this fucking movie, I'm walking out.
I'm done. I'm walking out the fucking broomstick axe, dude. I'm done. I'm done. Out.
It should be like Henry Cavill in a trailer before the movie. Brandon's like, "Fuck this movie, I'm out."
I'm gonna be so mad if I see Henry Cavill in this movie, bro.
So I'm hoping that fight scene with the Superman and Ultraman's at the end when he pulls the mask off and it's fucking Henry Cavill with eyeliner.
No, that's fine. Dude, that's fine. You can do that, but then that'll be the last time I see a James Gunn fucking
Brian,
movie.
On the reveal, dude. If that's the thing, I want you to record your reaction in the theater, dude. Like I want that.
There's no way.
It's gonna be a Jalil White, dude.
And he has his hair like in front of his eyes.
I'd rather see Urkel as Ultraman than rather see fucking Henry Cavill, bro.
All right, listen to my bullshit here. Listen to my bullshit out of left field here. What if the reveal is that it's not really Ultraman from the Crime Syndicate? That it's an Ultraman, but when he takes off the mask, it's Momoa as Lobo.
Oh god, dude, that's been
he's Lobo now.
Yeah, that's been the biggest hype out of all the thing that's coming out of DC is just this dude is this guy.
Yeah, so what if it's Momoa's Lobo and that's how the thing has the strength to fight Superman? Because Lobo's on par.
It works. It's a weird way to introduce Lobo, though.
Yeah, I don't think you have to introduce Lobo that way. Lobo is way too of a brash character to be under a hood or something like that. But I mean, listen, I don't care what they do. Just do not have anyone from the Snyderverse near this fucking movie, bro. I think that would be the weakest fucking thing anyone can do.
It's gonna be a fucking Doomsday. That's what it is. Every single damn time, it's gonna be a damn Doomsday clone or some shit. That's what it's.
Do you think so? Do you think the Bizarro story would be okay?
if we actually got Bizarro, but I think we're gonna get a Doomsday. That's probably what it'll be.
Damn, you're going that hard, that
I
fast?
think we'll see
That's a lot.
Bizarro. I think we'll
You
see
think
Bizarro.
Bizarro?
Yeah, because I was gonna say a Doomsday would be that's a lot, man, to introduce Doomsday on the first Superman movie, like,
Yeah, well,
and then
it's
you got
not the first time that
Ultraman and
DC's ever swung for the
Bizarro and
fences on one of their fucking movies, dude. I mean, this is also the same company that was just like, hey, fuck it, we'll introduce Parallax for our first Green Lantern film.
first Green
Yeah,
Lantern movie.
the greatest Green Lantern villain ever. The
Yeah.
yellow fucking disformity. Ugh.
All right, Mike. So with the trailer out, what do you think? Watching the trailer, what was a con that you got out of it? Like something that was bad? Because you're always really nice about everything. So you're always really hyped about everything. What was something bad you saw in it that you were like, "Fuck, I don't know if this is gonna work"?
The con is something that Brian mentioned, and after all three of you mentioned it a little bit. It's just the overall tone is sad. Like it's once again a depressed Superman. Yeah, and I'm exhausted of that. There's a reason why I'm telling you right now my favorite Superman to watch is My Adventures Superman, because he's not bummed the fuck out. He's excited to help people. He wants to make that difference. He's willing.
I don't know. I really like Tyler Hoechlin's, take
Superman.
on Superman. This Superman and Lois show was a huge breath of fresh air for me in regards to Superman. And actually, as a comic book fan, would have like if I cared enough about Superman, would have been like, hey man, fuck it. I guess I could read a little bit of Superman or something like that. Because I think his Doomsday take was amazing. His Bizarro take was amazing. His Lex Luthor take was cool. Like there was
even secondary.
The show did really good with all that, with all the tones.
He was given so much love in that live action show. I mean, the way they used the hammer and my favorite fucking scene is Steel chunks that damn hammer and misses. And the character like, oh, you missed, but that wasn't who he was aiming at. There's a fucking character across the damn city that he hit with his hammer, and then the hammer came back. That was an awesome disjointed scene, but it was a good shout out to Steel and how smart that character really is.
Okay, Superman we touched base on. Last part of the conversation that we're going to do. We got a little bit of time before we let everybody go. I know it's already late, and we've gone over our time that we usually normally do. But Secret Wars is coming up. Marvel is in the position that it's in right now. Fantastic Four is on the way. The greatest movie, Captain America: Brave New World, is coming out in like 2 weeks. Thunderbolts trailer. Mike, I'm going to give the floor to you. Let us know how you feel with that going into World War Hulk, the introduction of the Century, how it all plays out, and why we should get a siege and we're not. And then let's go ahead and break it into how you feel about the Robert Downey Jr. situation all the way through to Silver Surfer as a female and Galactus being a homie and all this. Yeah, we got a lot. There's a lot. You haven't been here, man. You haven't been here, bro.
Yeah, man, this is a Superman trailer of discussions.
You guys take it.
All right. So, first of all, the Silver Surfer they're using isn't Nolan Rad. It's not Silver Surfer. It's his wife. So that's canon. That Surfer is correct. As far as the way the movies are going, I have no idea what the hell to expect anymore. This new Captain America,
right?
Yeah,
you're kind of just America, like, at this point, you're just along for the ride.
Yeah, like I mean, it's gonna, like Brian said earlier with Superman, like Captain America's gonna get my money. I'm gonna go watch this thing with all hopes that this thing kicks ass. I mean, it has actors I like in it. It has characters I like in it. Giancarlo Esposito is always a good villain. So I have no idea what's going to happen, but I'm going to watch it. Thunderbolts, I am hopeful for, just because it's going to be silly shit, 100%.
I'm actually most excited for Thunderbolts. Of all these new Marvel projects, I think Thunderbolts is the movie that I'm most excited for. Yeah,
and then for me, a standout character, David Harbour is the Red Guardian. I love that, like, trying to be a dad, but he's really bad at it kind of idea. It's goofy as hell, and Yelena as a character is just cold and disjointed and doesn't really know what to do with the whole kind of character lead. I think Thunderbolts will be a fun movie. It may not be the best movie, but it'll definitely be a fun one. And you guys know me. I'm more positive about anything else. As long as I enjoy it and I get a couple laughs, I'm cool with it.
Well, this is their first time actually leading a movie, isn't it? Like outside of what, Midsummer?
No, didn't she have that movie with Andrew Garfield, the one with the horse on the poster?
Oh, that's true.
She
Yeah.
was in that movie where she was in that weird fucking trance, and she was like,
Yeah, Midsummer.
Yeah, Midsummer.
no, Midsummer, no. And I love Midsummer. I love all A24 movies, but no, this is another one, My Little Darling, or something like that. I don't know
Oh,
if you guys ever saw it. That movie's actually pretty fucking good, bro.
yeah,
I don't know
Okay.
if you guys ever got to see it, but that movie is really, really, really fucking good.
yeah. And then I agree with you, Brian. Almost anything A24 is fucking on point. I haven't seen a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of them. A24 kicking ass.
Yeah, that's my favorite studio.
Yeah, they're knocking it out of the fucking park, dude. You know, I mean, yeah, they really are. But more on, like what Chris was asking and stuff like that. The fact that we're not going to have Siege, how does everything lead into World War Hulk? And the whole Robert Downey situation.
With the lack of Siege, and Siege is that's trust me, Siege is one of my favorite storylines.
Yeah.
Same. I love Siege.
Really, yeah, I think we need it, but I don't know how to do it with the state of things at the moment. There's just no
Right.
way to make it happen.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. The only way, I think we talked about it before, is the Thunderbolts end up being the new Avengers under Valentina instead of Norman Osborn. I think we talked about like the economic structure of Asgard wanting to be removed and go back to space.
Yeah.
And America or the United States or the United Nations not allowing them to leave because they're an economic resource now, and they bring in all the magic shit. And Valentina's like, nope, you're stuck on Earth. And then they do the whole battle over Wyoming, or I don't know where the fuck what was it, Kansas or Massachusetts, or was it?
Yeah, now they're in New Zealand, but back then they were in Broxton, Ohio.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, Broxton,
Oklahoma.
Ohio.
It was Oklahoma.
So you could see where they could use the Thunderbolts, because I mentioned, like, can you imagine if they made the Guardian Ares and then fucking the Sentry just, like, I don't know, fucking tears them in half, or whoever the fuck he tears in half?
Oh no, I remember you and I talking about that, and I was just like, very much like Civil War, they would have to switch out characters.
Yeah.
Like key characters that we already have in the current landscape.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think the Thunderbolts plays
like
that fairly
the
well.
Ares character would have to be played by Hercules, because Hercules has already been introduced.
And you're gonna kill him off by the Sentry, dude. Like, that's like the biggest thing in that part, dude.
Honestly, I think we could probably play it like Zeus. So they had that extended scene where at the end, Russell Crowe wasn't dead. He was he survived and all that jazz. Hercules is a deity. He will resurrect as long as people believe in the character. That's the whole issue with Asgard. I mean, when Asgard went through Ragnarok and they resurrected Thor, the whole Jason Aaron storyline, as long as people believed, Thor was able to go to human hosts and pull the other gods out of them.
Yeah.
I think my favorite scene is when he goes to the bridge after Katrina hits New Orleans, and there's a man on the bridge pissed off that where were the heroes with their energy blasts and firewalls and invisible shields to stop Katrina from hitting? And he was screaming at Thor on the bridge, and he says, like, I know who you are, and he pulls Heimdall out of the man. I can see stuff like that, maybe resurrecting those characters to battle in Asgard. And having Hercules sit in the place of Ares on the Thunderbolts and die there because he has to change her heart. He realizes what the hell's happening here and goes to stand up for Thor in Asgard, and then Sentry, in full Dark Sentry mode, almost avoid.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point, actually, to make him like, because Ares is on that side of the Dark Avengers, right?
Yeah, that side.
Yeah, so he has to switch sides over and shit like that. Yeah, that's actually really, really dope. Okay, let me ask you guys, and this goes for all three of you guys. There's a rumor that after Brave New World, it goes into World War Hulk. We've seen the trailer. We see what they got going on. We see what's coming up. Like, how? Just how? Like, all I want to ask is anyone, please.
I think World War Hulk for us will be more like Gamma Wars was in the 90s, 2000s.
Yeah.
Hulk had to go fight
90s,
all the other gamma irradiated characters.
They've all powered him.
Yeah. So Hulk has to go deal with, and that's what World War Hulk will be. He'll have to fight Red Hulk and She-Hulk and the Leader and the Abomination, and I think we get A-Bomb at that point where Rick Jones turns into an Abomination. You know,
Right
We get a
now.
red She-Hulk.
yeah, and you
We
know,
get a
see,
red She-Hulk.
we do get a red She-Hulk. Isn't that
Yeah, Betty Ross.
Betsy.
Betty?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Betty
Betty.
Ross. Yeah, it's Betty Ross.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know, like
Wasn't Betty Ross the Harpy before also? Like, wasn't she Harpy first?
she was
Or who-
Harpy.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, she was Harpy before that.
Oh man, my Hulk lexicon is going nuts trying to remember who the hell is who at this point. But you know,
Okay.
I think that's where our World War Hulk will be. It'll be Bruce Banner having to go around the world fighting all the Hulks because they've gone nuts.
Okay, so what about the Fantastic Four? Did you already touch base on this or no?
No, not yet.
What about
Yeah,
the Fantastic Four?
I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be a great take, especially since it takes place in the 60s, the 50s, 60s, and then it's an alternate Earth, and they're trying to come back over here. I'm psyched for it. I think it's going to be great.
Okay, so you think it's going to be good? What about like the idea of like, so theory or rumor is birth of Franklin Richards. Galactus feels it and starts headed towards Earth or whatever, but it's because of Franklin Richards. And then, of course, like the Galactus and this Fantastic Four will head into Secret Wars.
I don't know if we need Franklin yet. That would be the easiest way to fill the Miracle Man void for Secret Wars with Franklin and his imagination powers.
Oh, Owen Reese? Oh, you're talking about Owen Reese, right? Molecule Man. Molecule Man.
Because he was the focal point for Doom and the whole Secret Wars construction of things. He was the center of it. And I could see not having him and replacing him with Franklin would make sense, but I don't think we need the kid yet. I mean, Galactus coming is a inevitable in every universe. He just comes to eat the Earth. And I would rather have a Fantastic Four fight him classically than have Franklin be the catalyst.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Or what if that Sue is pregnant and he like feels that?
Okay.
You see what I mean? And I will be okay with it. Yeah. I would prefer that not to be the case because I think we need to explore the Fantastic Four as a band of heroes and family before adding additional members to the family when we're not connected to the new versions yet.
But they are very connected to Secret Wars.
Yeah.
That's the only problem with it.
They are integral to Secret Wars.
Yeah, I was like, they're very important. That's the only thing that sucks is that you need them. You need Franklin and Valeria for Secret Wars.
Yeah.
They are arguably why Secret Wars happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I guess the only other thing would be rumor has it that the reason why we have like the initial Doctor Doom character as RDJ is because he's supposed to be following the Prime Doctor Doom story where it's him versus the Prime Avenger, which just happened in the comic books not too long ago. Mm-hmm. So that's why we got Loki as the god of stories.
Yeah, the god of stories.
So sooner or later, it's going to be Loki being very much like the Watcher in What If, bringing together a intergalactic variation of the Avengers to fight Robert Downey Jr.'s version of his Avengers. How do you feel if this is the format they're going to be going for Secret Wars, which is very much different from what Jason Aaron's run on Secret Wars? Or
honestly, I will live with it just because it's a creative idea. Because I have no idea how the hell to get the Aaron run. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, we're lacking. I mean, Marvel Zombies we're lacking currently. I mean, yeah, I know they're getting their animated series in October, but we're still lacking that. We're lacking any of the mutants. I mean, we're lacking 90% of A-Force. We're lacking Old Man Logan and his world, technically. You know, we're lacking a lot of shit. A lot. So I don't know how to get the Secret Wars the way we expect the Secret Wars.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way to do Jonathan Hickman's run on on Secret Wars. I mean, it's not going to happen. And this is what I've been saying since Secret Wars was not just teased but announced. And I've said this probably for 3 years now. Ever since Endgame was we now have to manage our expectations. You need to do that because if not, then you're going to set yourself up for failure and you're going to set yourself up for an expectation that they're not going to live up to. and you're inevitably going to be disappointed because you expected something that you shouldn't have in the first place.
Yeah, and that's a gripe I had with. I have a buddy of mine that was complaining about Thunderbolts. Like, oh well, we were gonna get the Dark Avengers next. Dark Avengers is coming. Like, man, look, we don't got Venom, we don't have Dakin there, we don't have Bullseye even reintroduced yet.
Yep.
Now we're lacking the intricate pieces that we need for what you're envisioning as the Dark Avengers. We may get a variation of this with other characters, but we can't expect mutants to magically appear in 5 seconds, nor can a symbiote appear in 3 seconds. That isn't even attached to Eddie Brock. It's attached to, I think, Matt Gargan is the Venom at that point. You know, there's a bunch of pieces that.
And even then, Matt, we do technically have a Matt Gargan, but he's in prison right now.
Yeah.
And,
like Morbius's universe?
No, Matt Gargan is in our universe.
Okay.
Yeah, because he fought with Spider-Man Tom Holland.
Oh,
he was the Mexican dude from Far Cry, right?
Yeah.
See, and I remember it because he was with the Vulture, but they put Vulture and Morbius for some damn reason.
Michael Keaton, they kind of did real crazy with that part too, right?
Yep, WTF telling that, but dude, actually, so kind of on Marvel, but off topic. Did you hear that the girl who played Michael Keaton's daughter in the first Spider-Man has like beef with the guy who voices Miles Morales in the Sonyverse? Yeah, he's weird, bro. He's mad weird.
He was being weird with her and what's the other the stunt? No, what's the other chick's name that was actually
was Zendaya?
No. The chick that was actually voicing Spider-Gwen in
Seinfeld.
Haley Steinfeld?
Yeah, she called him a creep too.
Hawkeye girl?
Yeah, if you watch any interviews, he's always trying to shoot his shot, and she's always like shooting him down. So like that was like the narrative.
Shit,
like that was the narrative.
Shakir Moore or something like that, or I don't know. I didn't know his last name was Moore, but yeah, dude, he deactivated all his social media.
Yeah,
because
what had happened? I don't even know what's going on or what.
Bro,
was it?
He's just weird. He's just like, "What's up, bro?" Like he thinks he has so much riz, and then they're like, "Bro, you need to stop." Like it's getting.
But then the chick went on like social media and like
called him out.
Put him on, called him out.
What the
and then
fuck?
he had to put everything, like he had to like delete all of his social media.
But like, so he was just being flirtatious and trying to shoot his shots, but was he being weird? Like, was he fucking?
Well, like the last one, like I said, was that black chick, was the daughter of Michael Keaton's character.
The one that was interested in Spider-Man.
Movie. Yeah, and like apparently, like he said that they were dating, and she was just like, "No, we're not.
Fuck.
You're weird. Stop doing that."
Oh wow. Poor guy. Is this guy pretty normal though?
I mean, he's Miles Morales, so I don't know.
Fucking know. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, he seems like a nice guy in the interviews. Seems like just a normal dude. Well, yeah, Mike, I just wanted to ask. I mean, I know we don't get you a lot, and I appreciate that you got to come in today. And it's late. I know, Brian, you're like an hour ahead of us, so I gotta get you to sleep. Yeah, I got to get you to sleep, man. Mike, is there anything else you want to say? Like, is there anything that you're putting out, like any books that are coming up that we should be looking out for, and anywhere we can find your information?
Yeah, I got the anthology Be Mine coming out February 14th. It's on pre-order now. You can get the ebook for $2. So if you want to support me, spend $2, guys. Yeah, you can get that. You can read it online, and that's that Mothman story. It's kind of weird. And then I'll be announcing Vampire Visions in a few weeks when that'll be releasing. And just keep buying the books and telling the company you're buying it because I'm in them, so they can keep paying me for them. That'd be great.
Hell yeah.
Mike, we wish you the very best. We wish you the best luck in selling the book and all the success. You're a good dude. You deserve it. You're a hardworking man, good father, good husband. Keep on grinding, dude. Don't ever stop your fucking grind. Get healthy, man. Get healthy and go outside and smell flowers and do all that good shit that you were talking about earlier, man. I really appreciate you.
Sure.
Go do a crime.
Yeah, go do a crime, dude. Go do a fucking crime. We got 2025, whole brand new year, whole brand new shit that's popping off today. Like Brian and I talked about a while back, it's a fucking circus. The world is crazy, but like Mike said, we just need some hope. So hopefully the Superman comes through and pulls through. Brian, Triggs, what about you guys? How are you guys doing for the week? What you guys got coming up?
More work. I take that back. On the 23rd, which is this upcoming Wednesday. When is Thursday, Wednesday? Thursday is my anniversary. It is my 4-year anniversary, and I will have been married for 4 years.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
This upcoming Thursday.
I got 2 of my guys fighting on the 31st here in Hidalgo. I want to say Hidalgo, the 31st. And then we have the TFL fights in February and May. Did you guys enjoy, Brian, did you enjoy the fights last night?
I didn't watch.
Oh, fuck. All right. Well, I didn't get to watch them.
I did. Yeah,
did you really?
Did.
Yeah, damn sure got to watch the UFC fights. Good job.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but I was working, but I was working and drinking. All
right. Mike, guys, don't forget Mike on social media, Michael Betancourt, MI_CH Betancourt, right? Yep. And yeah, guys, don't forget books. Check them out. Hit up Mike and support the cause, man. Support a creator. Mike, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for jumping in with us. Triggs, Brian, I know you guys are usually busy on night times. I appreciate you guys were able to make it tonight. Missed you guys. I really, really did. I missed all 3 of us together. And Mike, I missed you too, man. All 4 of us together are one fucking crazy show, dude. I'll tell you that much. I don't know anybody else that loves Star Wars more than Mike.
Brian enjoys pissing off more than anything else with the Star Wars.
Yeah, facts, dude. All right. Well, guys, we appreciate you. To all our extraordinary listeners, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys again here next week on the show, every Sunday night, Average Boys Podcast. We love you. Be safe, stay warm, and yeah, don't do any crimes. Laters.